subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Know what the special liquid in Uranus is like and how many points it can be exchanged for. Little Dragon Girl. I haven't even left the ancient tomb yet. Sister Butterfly Ninja is so fast. Oga Tatsumi. I wonder if I can trigger a mission, such as asking me to defeat the Demon King. Subai. Everyone, the chat group has the final say when it comes to releasing tasks. Just do your own thing well, and don't change your thoughts and plans just to trigger the task. Garp. The group leader is right. Since the Butterfly Ninja have triggered the mission, I believe we can do it too. Garp. So we don't have to worry, and we don't have to disrupt our plans just to trigger the mission. Guo Jing. Well, my plan remains unchanged to eliminate those bandits. Xiao Longnu. I want to leave the ancient tomb and travel around the world. Garp. You must be careful when walking in the world. You're too dangerous as a girl. Don't trust others easily. Guo Jing. Yes, the world is very dangerous. A little girl like you can easily be in danger. Guo Jing. If you encounter any danger or difficulty, you can go to me in your world for help. I in that world will definitely help. The group leaders have said that in the future, they will serve the country and the people and become a hero. And isn't the self in Xiao Longnu's world the same as her future self? So Guo Jing believes that as long as Xiao Longnu asks him for help in that world, he will definitely help. Xiao Longnu. I know. Subai. By the way, before you leave the ancient tomb, you can search in the ancient tomb. Subai. I remember that there are martial arts called Jade Girl Heart Sutra and Join Sutra in the ancient tomb, which can be exchanged for some points. Xiao Longnu. Thank you, brother leader, for your guidance. The world of divine sculptures. Xiao Longnu was planning to leave the ancient tomb, but after seeing Su Bai's words, she quickly started searching among the ancient tombs. Finally, the Jade Girl Heart Sutra and part of the Nineteen Sutra were found on the stone wall of a tomb chamber. She quickly uploaded 2 martial arts skills in exchange for points. As for her studying on her own, why should she learn other martial arts when she has God-level breathing techniques? Although she is simple and kind, she is not stupid. Even if all the martial arts in the world were put together, they would not be able to compare to the God-level breathing method. And according to Grandpa Garp and Sister Butterfly Ninja, as long as you purchase the God-level breathing method, you can learn it immediately. Then why bother learning other martial arts? After exchanging the 2 martial arts skills into points, Xiao Longnu said goodbye to the ancient tomb. I am sorry, Master. I have to leave Zhongnan Mountain. But I did it for the people of the world. I hope Master can forgive me. Xiao Longnu once promised her master that she would never leave Zhongnan Mountain for the rest of her life. But now she's breaking her promise. For the sake of the people of the world, there is nothing we can do about it. After bidding farewell to the ancient tomb, Xiao Longnu left Zhongnan Mountain for the first time and set foot on the world. Chapter 25. Kampa wants to regain his position. Kampa's proposal. In addition to Butterfly Ninja and Xiao Longnu, everyone else also started to act according to Su Bai's instructions for points. Guo Jing began to search for the bandits, and Oga Tatsumi found the maid Demon Hilda and the Dimension Teleportation Demon Alandalon, and asked them to take him to the demon world. Garp went to sea alone and stared at the pirates who were misbehaving. Diya also began to secretly dig holes, hoping to dig up Uranus's special liquid to exchange points. Seeing that the group members acted according to his instructions, Su Bai was also very satisfied. On the other hand, he had nothing to do. The 500,000 points that were still short of 3 million points were probably not available in a short time. But he is not in a hurry, not to mention that his life will be endless after becoming the gods of destruction. Just say that with the help of the God-level breathing method, his strength is also increasing sharply every day. The Scion bloodline is obtained earlier and later. The difference is not very big to him. Moreover, after Guo Jing and Xiao Longnu took action, they began to suppress the Tianhu and took over the martial arts of all the sects and strong men in the Tianhu. He can buy these martial arts, use his heaven-defying understanding to strengthen and then weaken them, and then sell them. Although you won't get many points from 2 books, but if the number is large, the points gained will be considerable. In short, the future is bright. As long as the group members work hard, the group leader will be able to make a lot of money. The 6th universe, Gods of Destruction. Ever since he came back from the 7th universe, Kampa has never been convinced or willing to give in. It was obvious that he would not lose to Su Bai, but because Su Bai had no martial ethics, he defeated him while he underestimated the enemy. He strongly disagrees with such a failure. I don't. Vados, why do you want to stop me from continuing to challenge that Su Bai? Kampa rolled around on the ground, not like a Gods of Destruction at all, but like a child playing rogue. Vados looked at Kampa without any fluctuation in her heart. She had long been used to it. Whenever Kampa encounters something unpleasant, he will act rogue, just like a child who has not grown up. Lord Kampa, your failure was caused by your underestimation of the enemy. This is your fault. It would be a shame if you kept badgering me. The defeat was obviously due to my own underestimation of the enemy, but I blamed my opponent for not practicing martial ethics? What's the point? Only guys like Kampa can act rogue and refuse to admit their failure. I don't care. Anyway, I must get this place back. Kampa stood up from the ground. He was so humiliated by Su Bai's hands. If he doesn't get this place back, he won't even be able to eat or sleep well. That's right. Since that guy Su Bai is no longer willing to accept my challenge, let's not test the strength of our 2 gods of destruction. How about testing the strength of our 2 universes instead? Kampa suddenly thought of a good idea. Oh, Master Kampa, what do you mean? What I mean is that Su Bai and I picked some strong men from our own universe to fight. Which side's strong man finally wins? Then which side's universe is stronger? It also means that the gods of destruction of this universe are better. Kampa is still very confident in the strength of his universe, because as far as he knows, his 6th universe has the strongest killer. He doesn't believe that there is a human being in the 7th universe who is stronger than the strongest killer. Your suggestion is quite interesting. This time, Vados did not stop Kampa, because she also thinks that Kampa's proposal is very interesting. As an angel, you have endless life, but because of this your daily life is very boring. So this is why Vados likes to cheat Kampa and watch Kampa suffer, because this way you can have some fun for yourself. And now, Kampa's proposal is a very good fun. Not only can she see the confrontation between the 2 strong men of the universe, but if Kampa loses, she can see Kampa's deflated look again. It's interesting to think about it. As for whether Su Bai will agree, Vados is not worried, because even if Su Bai doesn't agree, Whis will definitely find a way to make him agree. Whis, like her, has been bored for too long. Now that something so interesting is happening, he must be looking forward to watching the excitement. Vados, contact Whis and tell Su Bai about this. The more Kampa thinks about it, the more impatient he becomes. Once Su Bai agrees, it will be half done in regaining his place. Good. Vados nodded and contacted Whis. After contacting Whis, Vados hadn't said anything yet, but Kampa couldn't wait to speak. Whis, send Su Bai over. I have something to tell him. Whis glanced at Vados with some confusion and saw the other person nodded towards him. Although he didn't know what happened to Kampa, Whis came to Su Bai. Master Su Bai, Master Kampa, the gods of destruction of the 6th universe, has something to ask you. Kampa? What's that guy doing with me? He's not going to fight me again. Su Bai was also a little confused and didn't know what Kampa was looking for. If you continue to fight with him, then forget it. He had already defeated Kampa once to complete the mission, and there was no point in fighting him again, unless the chat group posts another mission asking him to defeat Kampa. Otherwise, he would be too lazy to fight the opponent. Su Bai, I'm not here to fight with you, but I thought of something fun. Seeing Su Bai, Kampa couldn't wait to say, something fun? What is it? Is it possible that you want to compete with me on the delicacies of the 2 universes? Su Bai thought that in the original novel, Kampa would often compete with Beerus over the delicacies of the 2 universes. But after Beerus has been to Earth and seen its delicacies, Kampa never tried again. When it comes to strength, the strength of the Earth is indeed not good. But when it comes to gourmet food, the Earth's food cannot lose. If it weren't for the fact that there are no group members from the food world in the group now. Otherwise, who can stop us from bringing out those delicacies from the food world? Moreover, there are also a lot of delicious food for sale in the mall. If you just take out some, you can completely destroy the sixth universe. A food competition? It doesn't seem impossible. Hearing Su Bai's words, Kampa was stunned for a moment and then realized what he said. Yes, he had forgotten that it could still be like this. Before Beerus's death, he often asked Beerus to compete with each other on the delicacies of the two universes. Each has his own victory or defeat. But because Beerus died, he only focused on competing with Su Bai. But I forgot that I can also compare the delicacies of the two universes. Chapter 26, 2 Scheduled Competitions, Resurrecting Son, Goku, and Others. Your suggestion is good. Then we can compete in 2 rounds. In the first round, we will compete on food. Kampa nodded and agreed to Su Bai's proposal. Wait, my proposal? Su Bai narrowed his eyes. In other words, didn't Kampa come to him to compete in food? So what is he here for? That's right, Master Su Bai. Seeing that Kampa had not yet explained his purpose, Vados spoke. Master Kampa wants to compete with you again, but this time the competition is not about the strength of you and Master Kampa, but the strength of the two universes. You and Mr. Kampa select a few strong men from your respective universes to fight. Whichever strong man wins, then whichever universe wins. Understood. After listening to Vados' words, Su Bai suddenly realized, isn't this a fighting tournament? In the original work, a fighting tournament was held between the 6th universe and the 7th universe. However, the reason for the fighting tournament in the original book was because after Kampa tasted the delicacies of the 7th universe's Earth, he asked Beerus to exchange the Earths of the two universes. Beerus did not agree. Then Kampa proposed to hold a fighting competition. If the 7th universe loses, it must agree to exchange the Earth. But Su Bai didn't expect that Kampa would actually ask him to hold a fighting competition. As for why this is, Su Bai can also guess. It must be that Kampa was not convinced after losing to him before, so he wanted to regain his position. Regarding Kampa's proposal, Su Bai was not in a hurry to refuse. This is indeed an interesting thing. As for the insufficient number of strong men in the 7th universe, this is not a problem. Can we just resurrect Son Goku and the others when the time comes? And ding, release the group leader task. Mission content. Defeat the strong man of the 6th universe. Task reward, 1 million points. The chat group has released another task. And as long as he completes this task, he can collect 3 million points to purchase the Scion bloodline in the exclusive mall. Therefore, Su Bai has no reason to refuse. I agreed. Su Bai nodded and agreed to Kampa's proposal. At the same time, he looked at Kampa with joy. This Kampa is really a mascot. 2 tasks have been triggered on him. I don't know if I can keep completing quests on Kampa. Do you want Kampa to challenge him from time to time? Seeing Su Bai's eyes, Kampa couldn't help but shudder, as if he was being stared at by someone. But he was very happy to see Su Bai agreed. Then let's just say that this time we will compete twice. The first competition is between the delicacies of 2 universes, and the second competition is between the strong men of 2 universes. Kampa is confident in these 2 games. In his opinion, whether it is the delicacies or the strong men of the 6th universe, they are better than those of the 7th universe. He never thought of the possibility of losing. Whatever, Su Bai shrugged, not caring about Kampa's confident look. He is equally confident in completing this mission. Food competition? You must know that the current Earth is not an Earth destroyed by artificial humans and Zamasu. The Earth now is missing warriors like Son Goku and Vegeta. In other respects, there is no difference from the Earth in main time and space. Just take out some delicacies, and it will be enough to kill the delicacies of the 6th universe in an instant. After all, the Earth of the 6th universe has been destroyed long ago. As for the competition between the strong, there are only so many strong people in the 6th universe. Although there are only a few strong people in the 7th universe, Su Bai believes that the strong ones in the 7th universe will not lose. Okay, if that's the case, then this matter is settled. As for the time, place and rules of the competition, I will think about it first, and then I will tell you. Well, think about it carefully. The contest was scheduled, and the two parties broke off contact. Master Subai, let's not talk about the food, but what do you want to do about the strong man? Whis said to Subai, Trunks is not weak now, but as Supreme Kai, he will naturally not participate in the competition. Therefore, Subai needs to find another strong person. I have plans for the strong man. I plan to give Trunks a surprise. A surprise for Trunks? Well, Trunks' father and brother were all killed before, so he became very lonely, with only his mother accompanying him. So, I plan to resurrect his dead fathers and brothers. Subai plans to resurrect Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan. It can be considered a surprise for Trunks. Good. Whis naturally has no objection to Subai's decision. It's just a matter of resurrecting a few dead people, which is not difficult for him at all. Trunks, come here. Subai called over Trunks, who was practicing. Master Subai. Trunks came to Subai and looked at him very curiously. I don't know what Mr. Subai wants to do with me. Your father, Uncle Goku, and Brother Gohan have also been dead for a long time. Do you miss them? Trunks nodded, showing a longing expression. Of course he missed them, thinking about them all the time. However, even though he is now Supreme Kai, he cannot resurrect them, and there is no ability to resurrect them. Although Supreme Kai has many abilities, he still doesn't have the ability to resurrect. Then do you want to see them again? Certainly. Trunks nodded heavily. Of course, he still wanted to see them. Master Subai, don't tell me. At this time, Trunks looked at Subai with a smile on his face and came to his senses. Yes, it's what you think. Whis, resurrect Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan. Subai nodded to Trunks and said to Whis beside him. Hearing Subai's words, Trunks was so excited. Although he does not have the ability to resurrect. Master Subai as the gods of destruction, and Mr. Whis as the angel, must have such abilities. Master Subai, this is for Mr. Whis to resurrect his father, Uncle Goku, and Brother Gohan. Amidst Trunks' excited expression and eyes, Whis lifted the staff in his hand. The next moment, 3 figures appeared in front of them. And these 3 figures are Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan, who have been dead for a long time. After the 3 people were resurrected, they looked around blankly. Seeing Subai and Whis, they were still confused and didn't know who these 2 people were. When they saw Trunks, Son Goku and Vegeta were still a loss. But Son Gohan had an expression of disbelief on his face. He recognized Trunks. Chapter 27, Son Goku and Others. Gods of Destruction? The world is changing so fast. Your Trunks. Son Gohan said with some uncertainty. It's me, Brother Gohan. Tears welled up in Trunks' eyes when he saw Son Gohan again. He was knocked unconscious by Son Gohan. When he woke up and rushed to Son Gohan's side, Son Gohan had been killed by the artificial man. In grief and anger, he managed to transform into Super Saiyan. After that, he returned to the past time and space, fought with his past father, Uncle Goku, and Brother Gohan, and his strength also improved. After returning to the future, he destroyed the future androids and Cell, restoring peace to the future. But the dead never come back. But Trunks didn't expect that one day he would be able to meet Brother Gohan and the others. This is this Trunks? Already so big. How long have we been dead? Son Goku looked at Trunks with surprise on his face. Trunks was just a baby when he died of a heart attack. Unexpectedly, Trunks has grown so big in a blink of an eye. Although Vegeta didn't say anything, he stared at his son in front of him with wide eyes. His son has actually grown up. After his death, he practiced in the underworld with Kakarot and Son Gohan. Whenever he sees Kakarot practicing with his son, although he doesn't say anything, but I was still very envious. I also thought about my son, but because Trunks was just a baby when he died, he didn't know whether his son would grow up or what he would be like when he grew up. Now he knows. What's going on? Why can't I feel your breath, Trunks? At this time, Son Gohan said in surprise. He found that Trunks was standing in front of him, but he couldn't feel his breath. Trunks, have you got the pressure down? No, Brother Gohan, because my current strength is no longer human. Isn't a human's anger? What do you mean? I'm Supreme Kai now, Supreme Kai? What is that? Son Gohan doesn't know what Supreme Kai is. But Son Goku thought of something after hearing it. Supreme Kai. I heard from Ko-sama that he seems to be a god who is superior to them and the great Ko. Trunks, are you a god? Yes, Uncle Goku, I have become a god. Thanks to Mr. Su-Bai and Mr. Whis. And you were able to resurrect because Master Su-Bai asked Mr. Whis to resurrect you. Trunks looked at Su-Bai and Whis gratefully. He will never be able to repay the kindness between these two people in his lifetime. Master Su-Bai, Mr. Whis, Son Goku, and others looked at Su-Bai and Whis very curiously. They discovered that they couldn't feel the breath of Su-Bai and Whis. In other words, these two are also gods. Let me introduce to you, this is Master Su-Bai, the gods of destruction of this universe. This is Mr. Whis, Master Su-Bai's master, and the angel who serves him. Trunks introduced Su-Bai and Whis to Son Goku and others. Then he introduced Son Goku and others to Su-Bai and Whis, although he felt that Su-Bai and Whis must have known about it. But what should be introduced should still be introduced. Master Su-Bai, Mr. Whis, this is my father. This is Uncle Goku. This is Uncle Goku's son, Brother Gohan. Hello, you all. Su-Bai nodded to the three of them and said with a smile. These three were famous beings. In the world before he traveled, they were three characters who could be recorded in the history of the second dimension. Now that I have seen them in person, I really feel a little excited. You must know that these three are the idols and destiny of countless Dragon Ball fans. What boy didn't do the Kamehameha pose as a kid? Even though I knew it was fake, I still had fun playing it. That was truly a childhood that I can never go back to. Hello, Mr. Su-Bai. Hello, Mr. Whis. Son Goku and Son Gohan greeted each other politely. Vegeta, on the other hand, looked at Su-Bai with some confusion, because he is very familiar with the name gods of destruction. But I couldn't remember it for a while. By the way, I wonder if Master Su-Bai resurrected us for something? Son Goku asked very curiously. They were cultivating well in the underworld, but were suddenly resurrected. Was it Trunks who asked Master Su-Bai and Mr. Whis to resurrect them? Of course, though curious as to why they were resurrected. But it would still be nice to be resurrected. Is such that Su-Bai talked about the competition with Kampa. Son Goku and others were stunned when they heard this. Even Vegeta had a confused expression on his face. Why do they seem to be listening to fairy tales? But this is normal. After all, they were still artificial humans when they died. Even Supreme Kai didn't show up. Not to mention other universes, fighting with strong men from other universes. This gives them a sense of how the world has changed so quickly. When they die, the androids are invincible. But what do cyborgs mean now? It turns out that they were just sitting in a well and watching the sky. So what? Are you willing to participate in the competition on behalf of our seventh universe? Of course, Master Su-Bai, I'm happy to. Son Goku said very excitedly. He was originally a fighting maniac, and he could only dream of being able to fight with strong men from other universes. I'll join in too. Son Gohan also chose to participate. He also wanted to fight with the strong men of other universes. Unlike Son Gohan, who doesn't like fighting in the main time and space, he only likes to read. Son Gohan in the future time and space has some psychological changes due to what happened to the artificial man. He is not averse to fighting. Moreover, he originally had a broken arm, but it has recovered now. Fighting strong men from other universes? Interesting. Although Vegeta didn't say it clearly, his meaning was already clear. Kakarot and Gohan both chose to participate. So how could he not participate? So Trunks, are you going to be there too? No, I'm already Supreme Kai, so I can't participate. Although Trunks did want to participate. But he is now Supreme Kai and cannot participate. So how many people will participate in total? I plan to have 4 people participate. Although it is estimated that the Kampa guy will bring 5 people to participate in the competition. But Su-Bai planned to bring 4 people to participate. Chapter 28 newcomers join the group, and the food competition will be a dimensionality reduction blow. You must know that in the original work, Beerus also brought 4 people to participate. And one of them is Manaka, who has no fighting ability and is just used by Beerus to deceive Son Goku. It means that there are only 3 people who are capable of fighting. In this way, the 7th universe finally won. So Subai felt that there would be no problem at all if he brought 4 people to participate in the competition. And he won't take someone with him without fighting ability. The 4 people he brought with him were all capable of fighting. Needless to say, Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan. The last person left is even more of a master. For people, Master Subai, besides the 3 of us, who is the other person? Son Goku asked very curiously. You don't know the last person. But don't worry, this last person is very powerful. This made Son Goku and others even more curious. How powerful to be recognized by Master Subai? How strong is this last person? Son Goku was not only curious, but also had a fighting spirit in his heart. I really want to have a fight with this last person. By the way, Master Subai, now that my father and the others are resurrected, I wonder if you can allow me to take them back to Earth. My mom definitely misses them. Trunks looked at Subai and asked, Dad, Uncle Goku and Brother Gohan are resurrected. Trunks believes that his mother will be very happy. Of course it's no problem. Subai nodded and agreed without any hesitation. He's not some cold-blooded gods of destruction, so how could he disagree? Thank you, Master Subai. Then please, Mr. Whis. Although Trunks can now take Son Goku and the others across the universe. But with his strength, he doesn't know how long it will take to return to Earth. So please Whis be faster. Trunks, I actually have a faster way. At this time, Son Goku said with a smile. Uncle Goku, Trunks looked at Son Goku very curiously, wondering what the faster way was. My dad learned a move called instant transmission from an hydration in the underworld. If you use this trick, you can reach your destination quickly. Seeing Trunks curious, Son Gohan explained. Then, Son Goku put his 2 fingers on his forehead and began to search for the key on the Earth. In this move, instant transmission, you need to sense key before you can go to that place. So, my dad is sensing the key on the Earth. Son Gohan explains again. But it's too far away from the Earth. Can Uncle Goku feel it? Trunks was worried. This is the planet gods of destruction, which is almost across the entire universe from the Earth. From such a long distance. Can Uncle Goku really sense the Earth's energy? After all, there are no strong people on the Earth now. They're just ordinary people with weak ki. After sensing for a while, Son Goku finally gave up because he really couldn't sense the ki on the Earth. How about this? Let's let Whis take us to Earth first, and you can continue to sense on the way. When you sense the energy on the Earth, use instant transmission. This can also save a little time. What Mr. Subai said makes sense, so let's do it. Son Goku nodded and accepted Subai's proposal. Later, Whis took Subai and Son Goku and others to set off for the Earth, while Son Goku continued to sense the Earth's ki on the way. Of course, Subai had his own ideas when he proposed this. He wanted to see Son Goku cast instant transmission, and then use his Heaven-Defying Comprehension to strengthen instant transmission. There are several magical skills in the Dragon Ball world, and instant transmission is one of them. Although this move has little power, it is a very useful move. You can reach your destination instantly across long distances, saving a lot of time. And it can also be used in combat. Of course, this magical skill also has limitations. That is, it requires sensing ki. Therefore, you cannot go to a place where there is no ki. But Subai has an incredible understanding, so he wanted to try to see if he could use his incredible understanding to strengthen instant transmission and remove this limitation. Ding! Navigator Liu Paiqiang joins the chat group. Ding! Special Chef Liu Pleiades joins the chat group. On the way to Earth, Subai opened the chat group and found that 2 new people had joined the chat group. Other group members also noticed new people joining the group. They who were busy with their own affairs also paused their own affairs to welcome new people into the group. Garp, a new member, has joined the group. Welcome. Warmly welcome. Ogatatsumi. The chat group will be more lively in the future. Xiao Longnu. Look at the names. They are 2 newcomers. Guo Jing. Welcome both of you to the group. Butterfly Ninja. +1. Diya, +2. Lu Paiqiang, what is this? A chat group? Is it caused by those people from the digital life sect? Young master, what is this? Did I eat something bad and have hallucinations? Subai, you too. This is not an illusion, nor is it the work of digital life sections. This chat group is real. Subai recognized these two newcomers immediately. One is Lu Paiqiang from the world of Wandering Earth, and the other is the Little Master from the world of Little Master. The little boss comes from a world of gourmet food. He can cook whatever he wants and destroy the delicacies of the sixth universe. Originally, Su Bai was very confident about winning the food competition. It's no longer a problem now. The delicacies made by the Little Master are a complete dimensionality reduction blow to the delicacies of the sixth universe. As for Lu Paiqiang, since he mentioned the digital life sect, it should be during the period of Wandering Earth 2. Because when wandering on Earth 1, the digital life sect no longer existed. After being introduced by others, Lu Paiqiang and Xiao Dongjia accepted it. They didn't expect that they would join such a magical place. Lu Paiqiang, I originally thought chat groups were just about chatting with friends and colleagues on mobile phones. Lu Paiqiang, I didn't expect that people from other worlds can join a group. This chat group is much more advanced. Little boss, it's so magical. This is much more magical than the legendary kitchen utensils. Garp, you too, you can take a look at the items in the mall. There are many items available for purchase. Garp, especially the God-level breathing method uploaded by the group owner. As long as you buy it, you will be able to become stronger through breathing in the future. It is very convenient and easy. Lu Paiqiang and Xiao Dongjia opened the mall and saw the God-level breathing method in the mall. Chapter 29, Lu Paiqiang. It's basically difficult for you to get funding. As for the God-level breathing method, Xiao was fine, but Lu Paiqiang was very excited. You can become stronger just by breathing, and since it was uploaded by the group leader, the God, it must be very powerful. Is it possible to physically travel across the universe, or even push the Earth? If it was possible, then none of the problems their Earth is encountering now would be a problem. In his world, the sun is aging rapidly and will swallow up the entire solar system in a few decades. In order to survive, people on Earth are now divided into two groups. One sect is the Yishan sect headed by Huaxia, which means taking the Earth to its new home. The other faction is the digital life faction. They want to make human beings become digital beings. In fact, many people know that if possible, traveling to a new home is the best choice. After all, once you become a digital being, you're no longer a real person. At most, you're just a bunch of data. Currently, the mainstream plan is to move the mountains, to build 10,000 planetary engines, and take the Earth to its new home. After China confirmed that this plan is feasible, the construction of planetary engines is in full swing. And the construction of the lunar engine is also in progress and has come to an end. But no one can guarantee what the future will be like. Even Lu Paiqiang, an atheist, sometimes wonders if there really is a God. Can he help the Earth? But now God has really appeared. He joined the chat group, and the group owner is the real God. The God-level breathing method he uploaded can make people stronger just by breathing, and can even reach the point of surpassing ordinary people. In other words, as long as you give him enough time, it is not impossible for him to grow to the point where he can physically cross the universe and push the Earth. Although the current situation of the Earth is very urgent, it will still be decades or hundreds of years before the solar system is destroyed. Such a period of time should allow him to improve to this level. Therefore, Lu Paiqiang is very eager to obtain the God-level breathing method, but the problem is that the God-level breathing method requires 100,000 points. There is no way he can come up with such a large amount of points. Even if he could gain points by redeeming things, he had nothing to redeem them for. At most, you can exchange your own skills, but this can't be exchanged for a few points. Lu Paiqiang, at Group Subai, Group Leader, I wonder if you can give me some advice on what I should do now. Lu Paiqiang already knows that the old members of the group have received guidance from the group leader, allowing them to gain points. Therefore, he also wanted to ask the group leader to help him give guidance. Su Bai, your method is actually similar to that of Butterfly Ninja and Garp. You can find someone to help you. Su Bai, you can't get so many points yourself, but you can ask the state to sponsor you. But even if they believe in you, they may not choose to sponsor you. Lu Paiqiang, why is this? Su Bai, because they can't afford the gamble. Even if they believe that you can solve the Earth's crisis by joining the chat group, they still have to give you time to grow. Su Bai, but there are too many surprises. What if the crisis is advanced? What if we don't wait until you grow up? It's better to use the resources that fund you to carry out the mountain-moving plan. Lu Paiqiang's situation is different from other group members. Not to mention Garp, people like Ogatatsumi and others are not in danger in the first place. Even Butterfly Ninja, Diya, and others who are in crisis are not as urgent as Lu Paiqiang. The Demon Slayer Corps has been fighting ghosts for thousands of years. Although the Demon Slayer Corps has never eliminated the ghosts, there is no problem in holding them back. The same goes for Diya. Although Keela has been looking for Alala and always wanted to get the golden Rubik's Cube in Diya's hand. But with the golden Rubik's Cube in her hands, Diya can continue to deal with Carrot and buy her time to grow up. But Lu Paiqiang is different. The Earth where he lives does not have much time. The mountain-moving plan needs to be implemented quickly. If it is delayed, there is no chance that the sun will be completely destroyed one day, thus destroying the entire solar system. Therefore, even if others believe that Lu Paiqiang has joined the chat group, they will not support him too much. Unless just funding Lu Paiqiang, the Earth's crisis can be solved immediately. Moreover, there are no other items in the mall that can help Lu Paiqiang solve the problem. Although there are a lot of technologies in the mall, but because the mall level has not yet gone up, these technologies can't help much. You must know that the world of Wandering Earth where Lu Paiqiang lives has a very high technological level. Not to mention that even digital life technology can be developed, just things like space elevators, planetary engines, and lunar engines. Even with Su Bai's level of technology before his time travel, it was simply impossible to do it. These technological levels have exceeded the current technological levels in shopping malls. Therefore, Lu Paiqiang has no immediate solution to the Earth's crisis. In this case, there is a high probability that he will not receive funding, because the people above won't bet on him. If the bet is wrong, it will be the destruction of the entire Earth. Lu Paiqiang, so I really have no choice. Lu Paiqiang was very disappointed. He knew that what the group leader said was very reasonable. In such a critical situation, it was impossible for the people above to place a bet on him. Even if they believed him and joined the chat group, they wouldn't. Su Bai, at Lu Paiqiang, actually you don't have to be so disappointed. Su Bai, red envelope. Su Bai, here are 100,000 points. You can use them first. You will become stronger, which will definitely help the smooth progress of the mountain-moving plan. Su Bai knew the next plot, and Lu Paiqiang and the others encountered many difficulties. Even later, Lu Paiqiang sacrificed himself to ignite Jupiter. But with the help of God-level breathing techniques, these difficulties will not be so troublesome to solve. Moreover, Lu Paiqiang will not have to die when the time comes. Of course, another point is that as long as he completes the task of winning the competition, he will be able to collect the points to purchase the Scion bloodline and even have a lot of surplus. Lending some points to Lu Paiqiang is not a problem at all. The mountain removal project was led by Hua Xia, who wandered the Earth, and Hua Xia was under a lot of pressure. Although he is not a Chinese wandering around the Earth, he is also a Chinese from other worlds. Please help if you can. Lu Paiqiang, group leader. Lu Paiqiang did not expect that Su Bai would be so generous and directly lend him 100,000 points. Su Bai, it's okay. You bought the God-level breathing method and practiced it first. Su Bai, when you're strong enough to solve any crisis, you can just ask the superiors to exchange resources into points and return them to me. Chapter 30 Detection Function, Strength Level of Chat Group. Garp, yes, little friend Paiqiang, just accept it. This is also the group leader's help to you, and the group leader has also given us help. Butterfly Ninja, our group leader is a very good group leader. So brother Paiqiang, just accept it. As your strength becomes stronger, it will become easier to solve the crisis on your side. Guojing, the group leaders have given us tips on how to get points, but you're different from us and cannot get points quickly, so we need the help of the group leaders. Xiao Longnu, yes, Brother Pai Qiang, just accept it. Aren't you going through a huge crisis over there? With the points given to you by the group leader, you can buy God-level breathing techniques to become stronger. Got it. Other group members also persuaded Lu Pai Qiang to accept the points. Not only did they not have any envy or jealousy about the group leader lending Lu Pai Qiang points, they were actually very touched, because this is enough to show that the group leader is really a good group leader. A good group leader who thinks about the group members and wants to help the group members. Who wouldn't love such a group leader? The group leader didn't lend them points because he showed them how to get points. They will always get enough points. But Lu Pai Qiang was different. The advice given to him by the group leader was actually of no use. Therefore, the group leader used a more direct method to help him. That is, directly lending him points. After all, we should solve the crisis we are about to encounter first, right? Now that Lu Pai Qiang has joined the chat group, he is their partner and a member of the chat group. And he is not a very annoying guy like Tong Mo. Therefore, they did not want to see Lu Pai Qiang die because he could not solve the future crisis. Lu Pai Qiang, thank you very much, group leader. Lu Pai Qiang accepted the red envelope. Lu Pai Qiang, don't worry, group leader. When I solve the crisis on the earth, I will have a showdown with the people above and ask them to fund me. I will convert it into points and return them to you. With the God-level breathing method, he will one day have the power to solve any crisis. When the crisis is lifted and the situation is no longer urgent, then the country will not stop funding him. I just don't know what level of strength I need to reach to solve all crises. Ding! The detection function is turned on. At this time, another new feature of the chat group was opened. The group members quickly checked the information about the new features. It turns out that this detection function can detect one's own strength, and the strength level is based on the strength level of the chat group. This function is not as applicable as those previously enabled, but it is still good for testing one's own strength. Garp, then I'll try it first. Garp tested his strength and found that his strength was among 5 stars. According to the strength level of the chat group, 5 stars belong to the explosive country level. That is, the power that can destroy a country. And being in the middle means that his strength is in the middle of the 5-star level. There are also 2 levels, upper and lower, with lower indicating the weakest at this level. It means that you're the strongest at this level and have reached the peak of this level. Garp, my strength is pretty good. Garp sent his strength test results to the group. Butterfly Ninja, wow. As expected of Grandpa Garp, he actually has the strength of a 5-star explosive nation. Oga Tatsumi, sure enough, before the group leader joined the chat group, Mr. Garp was the strongest existence. Oga Tatsumi also tested his own strength and found that his strength was below 3 stars. Samsung is street-level strength and has the power to destroy streets. But he also knew that he had such strength because of the help of Little Baru. If he relied solely on his own strength, he would probably only get 2 stars at most, and it would still be below 2 stars. But there is no way. Who makes him the father of Little Bailu? They are inseparable. This also shows how big the gap is between the stars. 3-star is just a street-level strength, while 5-star is a national-level strength. As for the 4-star sandwich between them, they are city-exploding levels of strength and can destroy cities. Others also tested their own strength, but except for Garp and Oga Tatsumi, and the Butterfly Ninja, who also practiced God-level breathing techniques, the others didn't even have 2-star level strength. The 2-star level is the strength of the explosion level. Can destroy a building. The remaining Guijing, Xiao Longnu, and Diya do not have such strength. In fact, the young master didn't even have 1-star strength. He was just an ordinary person. Lu Pai Qiang, on the other hand, is under 1 star. 1-star strength is the limit of ordinary people. Even though Special Forces Kings are only 1 star and cannot reach 1-star level. If Lu Pai Qiang hadn't received professional training, he wouldn't even have the strength to be under 1 star. Lu Pai Qiang. So, I must at least reach the same 5-star level as Mr. Garp in order to solve the current crisis on Earth. Lu Pai Qiang. To completely solve the crisis on the Earth, you must have at least a 7-star level of strength. The 7-star level strength is the explosive star level strength, which can destroy the planet. Therefore, in Liu Paiqiang's view, at least this level of strength is needed to completely solve the Earth's crisis. He is only 1 star in strength now, and he doesn't know when he will be promoted to the 7-star level. Although there's only 6 stars missing, the gap between these 6 stars is like a chasm. Subai, don't be too sad. After you practice the God-level breathing method, your strength and speed will be greatly improved. Subai, it's because Garp has practiced the God-level breathing method that he has a 5-star strength. Otherwise, his strength would probably be below 5 stars. Garp, the group leader is right. If it were before, my strength would only be below 5 stars at most. Garp, but it's because I have practiced the God-level breathing method that my strength can reach the middle level so quickly. Jing, then it looks like I have to quickly get enough points to redeem the God-level breathing method. Oga Tatsumi, yes, although my strength with Baruchan can reach 3 stars, without Baruchan, I estimate it will only be 2 stars. Oga Tatsumi, I want to become stronger, even stronger than Baru and his father, the Demon King. Butterfly Ninja, my previous strength didn't even have 2 stars, but after practicing the God-level breathing method, I reached 2 stars. Butterfly Ninja, I believe it won't take long for me to reach 3 stars, or even better. Butterfly Ninja, those ghosts are at most 2 stars in strength, and the Ghost King is capable of 3 stars. When I reach 3 stars, I can compete with the Ghost King, and when I reach 4 stars, I can crush the Ghost King. Butterfly Ninja believes that this day will not come too late. Chapter 31 11-star Strength, the Little Master's Cooking Skills. I saw that both Garp and Butterfly Ninja had greatly improved their strength because they had practiced God-level breathing techniques. Others are very motivated. They also need to get enough points as soon as possible to redeem the God-level breathing method. Who can resist the temptation of increasing strength? And Liu Paiqiang immediately redeemed himself for the God-level breathing technique. He could clearly feel that as he breathed, his physical fitness was improving. Subai was not surprised that the strength of Garp and Butterfly Ninja improved a small level so quickly. God-level breathing techniques are not guaranteed. But next, Butterfly Ninja is okay. Her strength can still improve quickly. But Cap is different. After all, the God-level breathing method they are practicing now is the weakest version. You can feel the rapid improvement in strength at the beginning because their strength is too weak. But as the strength increases, the effect of the endlessly weakened version of the God-level breathing method will weaken. Although it will still be effective, in the future, it may take several years or decades to reach a small level. Of course, the full version of the God-level breathing method has no such restrictions. No matter how strong you are, the effect is still awesome. But the problem with Garp and the others is not a problem. When the level of them all increases, he will upload a stronger God-level breathing method so that they can practice new breathing methods. Therefore, Garp and the others don't have to worry about not being able to keep up with the level of the God-level breathing method. You just have to worry about the mall not being able to keep up with the level. But due to the level of the mall, there was nothing Subai could do about it. Garp, by the way, group leader, have you tested your strength? How strong are you? Xiao Longnu, yes. How strong is the group leader, brother? Others are also very curious. They know that the leader of the group is a god. But I don't know how many stars the group leader's strength is. Anyway, at the very least, it must be at least a 7-star explosive star level of strength. Subai is also very curious about what level his strength belongs to in the chat group. So I used the detection function to test it. Group leader Subai, your strength is under 11 stars. 10-star strength represents universe-level strength in the chat group. That is, the strength that can destroy the universe is equivalent to a single universe level. As for the 11 stars, they are existences above this. It is equivalent to the strength of a supercell universe. In terms of strength in the Dragon Ball world, those 11 stars are equivalent to gods of destruction level strength. Son Goku and others in the original work are at the 10-star level. After all, there is a gap between the levels of strength among the 10 stars. The strength gap between the upper, middle, and lower levels is huge, not to mention the 11-star ones. In Su Bai's view, his current strength is under 11 stars. If he obtains Scion Bloodline, he can transform into a Super 5. That strength should be able to be improved to 11 stars. The strength of the strongest gods of destruction, Beerus, should also be among the 11 stars, and has not reached the level above. Angel should be at the 11-star level, but even there is a gap in strength between Zhong and Zhong. In short, the higher the star rating, the greater the strength gap between them. Even within the same level of strength, there is a big gap. Su Bai sent a screenshot of his strength to the group. Next moment, Garp, 11 stars. The group leader's strength is actually 11 stars. Oga Tatsumi, this is outrageous. A 10-star level of strength can destroy the universe. So what level is 11-star level? Guojing, the leader is indeed a god. His strength is simply terrifying. Butterfly Ninja, how on earth does that guy from Tong Mo dare to provoke the group leader? Butterfly Ninja, as long as he can keep a low profile once the chat group turns on the detection function and knows his strength level, he will never dare to provoke. TMO's strength is only 2 stars at most. Oga Tatsumi can defeat him, and Garp can easily crush him. With such little strength, you actually dare to challenge the leader of the 11 stars? She is a butterfly ninja and would like to call Tong Mo the number 1 person seeking death. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that among the newcomers who will join the group in the future, there will also be people who are seeking death, just like Tong Mo. But no matter what, Tong Mo, as the first person to provoke the group leader, is definitely the king of seeking death. The group members were all shocked by Su Bai's strength. But then they were so proud. Their leader is such a strong yet gentle and kind being. When you talk to others in the future, their expressions can be very arrogant. What? You said you are very strong? I admit that you are very strong. But if I bring up the leader of the 11-star group, how should you respond? Young master, you are all-powerful. I only have sporadic strength. I am just an ordinary person. Su Bai, no way. You're just a chef, and you're also a child chef. What kind of strength can you have? Su Bai, even the strongest people in your world are only 1 star. Liu Paiqiang, my world is the same. It seems that the world between me and the little master is the most ordinary world. Little boss. Group leader, how do I get points? Although the young master is not very interested in the god-level breathing method, because his goal is not to become stronger, but to become stronger in cooking. But he still knows the importance of points and wants to get them. Su Bai, you can exchange your cooking skills for points, or you can exchange the legendary kitchen utensils from your world. The young master was not surprised why the group leader knew about things in his world. The group leader is a god. Wouldn't you know? But he was reluctant to exchange it for legendary kitchen utensils. After all, legendary kitchenware is really easy to use. As for cooking skills, they can be exchanged for points. Anyway, what was redeemed was not his own cooking skills, but his way of practicing to achieve his current cooking skills. Su Bai, by the way, you can also exchange the dishes you cook for points. It should be worth a lot of points. You must know that the little master's cooking skills are ranked among the best in all the food world. Not only is he the first medicine king, but any luminous cuisine is a piece of cake for him. There are very few dishes he cooks that don't shine. Therefore, the cooking he makes should be worth a lot of points. Fortunately, after the little master redeems the dishes he made, he can also buy and taste them. To be honest, when he first watched Little Master of China, he was very greedy for the dishes cooked by Little Master. But then again, what if the young master exchanged his cooking skills? Then he could become a chef himself? Seeing the cooking skills uploaded by the young master in the mall, Su Bai bought one directly. Chapter 32, God-Level Cooking Skills. Just eat, and you will become stronger. You have understood Zidangjia's cooking skills and received a lot of inspiration from them. You integrated your own insights into the little master's cooking skills and created God-level cooking skills. God-level cooking skills. You can use the most common ingredients to make the most delicious dishes, and the dishes you make also have the effect of improving your strength. After acquiring the little master's cooking skills, Su Bai's incredible savvy came into play again. God-level cooking skills. Not only can you make more delicious dishes, but the dishes you make can also increase your strength. Before, you could become stronger just by breathing, but now you can become stronger just by eating delicious food. Good guy, his incredible understanding wants him to become stronger while enjoying it. You can become stronger by breathing, and you can become stronger by eating delicious food. Isn't this happier and more enjoyable than practicing hard to become stronger? Su Bai quickly grabbed some ingredients and started trying them. Su Bai, who never touched Yang Chun Shui at first, now has master cooking skills and is now able to wield all kinds of kitchen utensils and various seasonings that she couldn't distinguish before. Soon, a sumptuous meal was prepared. Su Bai took a bite and was immediately impressed by his cooking skills. He has never eaten anything so delicious. Even the delicacies on Earth are far inferior to the delicacies he makes himself. But he didn't feel much about improving his strength. Maybe it's because he is too strong now. But this also shows that the effect of God-level cooking skills is actually not as good as that of God-level breathing techniques. And after finishing cooking, Su Bai also discovered something. That means he doesn't like cooking at all. He has never cooked before and cannot cook. Now that I have God-level cooking skills, I am cooking for the first time, although the taste is extremely delicious. But I also let him know that he doesn't like cooking. By the way, if the young master acquires God-level cooking skills, will the food he cooks be sold more expensively? And in the future, I can also directly buy the God-level dishes made by the little master? Thinking of this, Su Bai weakened his God-level cooking skills endlessly, weakened it to the lowest level, and uploaded it to the chat group. However, the points gained by uploading God-level cooking skills were far less than those obtained by uploading God-level breathing techniques, which only made up for the points he had lent to Lu Paiqiang before, worth 100,000 points. The price in them all is also very cheap, only 10,000 points. Of course, this advantage is equivalent to the God-level breathing method. 10,000 points, in addition to the God-level breathing method, is also the most expensive product in the current mall. Su Bai, I just improved the little master's cooking skills. You can take a look. Butterfly Ninja. The group leader has improved our abilities again. As expected of the group leader, he is awesome. Su Bai improved the little master's cooking skills, which reminded Butterfly Ninja of the previous group leader who improved her breathing method and then created a magical skill called God-level breathing method. I wonder what magical skills the group leader can create after improving the little master's cooking skills. Others are also looking at the new products. When they saw that the dishes produced through God-level cooking skills could improve their strength, they became excited again. Garp. Good guy. The group leader is indeed the group leader. He has taken great pains to make us, the weak group members, stronger. Oga Tatsumi. Indeed, the magical skills created by the group leader are all related to improving strength. Guojing. With God-level cooking skills and God-level breathing techniques, our strength will definitely increase faster. Diya. Then I can improve my strength before I obtain the God-level breathing method. The group members are also very interested in God-level cooking skills. This is another magical skill that can improve your strength. Su Bai. But I want to remind you first, that is the effect of God-level cooking skills, not as good as God-level breathing techniques. Su Bai. You can tell by looking at the selling price. Dishes made with God-level cooking skills do not improve strength as much as God-level breathing techniques. Seeing Su Bai's reminder, the group members took a look at the selling price. Sure enough, even though they're also magical skills, the price of God-level cooking skills is only 1/10 of the price of God-level breathing techniques. However, the group members didn't care. Even if the effect of God-level cooking is not as good as that of God-level breathing, it still has the effect of improving strength. That'll be fine. It would also be good to have one more way to improve strength, especially for Guijing, Xiao Longnu, and Diya, who urgently need to improve their strength, but do not have enough points to purchase the God-level breathing method. The emergence of God-level cooking skills can alleviate their urgent needs. God-level cooking skills are much cheaper than God-level breathing skills. They can buy God-level cooking skills first and enhance their strength through the dishes they make. As your strength improves, you will gain points faster. As for why not to waste these 10,000 points, it is better to save up and buy the God-level breathing method. They didn't think about it, because buying God-level cooking skills is not a waste. Although after buying God-level cooking skills, the distance to buying God-level breathing methods will become farther. But when their strength increases, they will gain points much faster than before. It will definitely take them faster to buy the God-level breathing method than if they don't buy the God-level cooking skills and just accumulate points. Of course, it's not just Diya and the others, but also Garp, Butterfly Ninja, and other group members who have learned the God-level breathing method. I also want to buy God-level cooking skills. After all, when traveling in the world, having many skills does not weigh you down. It's always good to have one more magical skill at hand. Not to mention that this magical skill can also enhance their strength. Besides, they even bought the God-level breathing method worth 100,000 points. Do you still care about this mere 10,000 points? However, the person who desires God-level cooking skills the most is the young master. He has no interest in becoming stronger, but his God-level cooking skills can only make him stronger after eating the dishes he makes. Essentially, it's still cooking. If he could obtain God-level cooking skills, then his cooking skills would be absolutely unrivaled in his world. Even those veteran super chefs, such as his mother, such as Master Zhou of Yanchuan Restaurant, will not be his opponent. Then it will become easier to find all the legendary kitchen utensils. And those chefs in the dark cuisine world will definitely not be their opponents. Therefore, he does not need the God-level breathing technique, but he must obtain the God-level cooking skills. No qualified chef can resist the temptation of God-level cooking skills. It's only 10,000 points, and I don't know how much cooking he has to do to get it. But wait, it seems like he doesn't have to do it alone. Master Xia, Ren, why don't we find a place to open a small street shop first? How about it? The young master said to Master Xia, the steel rod, and Run, the 7-star sword. Chapter 33. The young master opens a restaurant, a touching scene of reunion. Little master, what's wrong with you? Why do you say that? Shouldn't we quickly look for the remaining legendary kitchen utensils? Yes, little master. Why do you say that? Master, are you confused by your sleep? After hearing what the young master said, Master Xia, Ren In, Dudu, and Shiro all looked at him with puzzled faces. I don't understand why the young master would make such a suggestion. Shouldn't they quickly find the remaining legendary kitchen utensils and prevent them from falling into the hands of the dark cooking world? How can I still have time to open a store? Listen to me. The young master smiled and told them about the chat group and the God-level cooking skills. The people here are trustworthy, and his help is needed to help him gain points. So it was okay to tell them about the chat group. Little master, are you dreaming? Why did you start talking nonsense? Yeah, what chat group? People from other worlds? What on earth are you talking about? Of course, others will not believe it. This kind of thing is difficult for even a modern person to accept, not to mention the ancients. But the young master didn't panic. He took out some of the ingredients he had brought with him and then made a fire to cook. Then, he exchanged the dishes he cooked for points. Dudu and the others were shocked when they saw the dishes cooked by the young master suddenly disappear. To them, this kind of thing is simply a miracle. Therefore, they also believed what the little master said. But master, what does this have to do with you opening a small shop? Shiro asked, very puzzled. It's not that easy for us to make enough dishes to exchange for 10,000 points. If there are enough ingredients, then there will be no problem, but we don't have that much money and ingredients. So, I plan to open a small shop to make money first, and then buy ingredients to cook. That's right. The reason why Xiao Dongjia opened a small shop was to make money and then buy ingredients to make enough dishes. There are quite a few dishes that can be redeemed for 10,000 points. Although with the strength of him, Master Xia and Run, it can be done. But they don't have so many ingredients. There is not much money to buy ingredients. Therefore, we can only make money first. The young master believed that with him as a super chef, Master Xia, the #1 pastry chef in the continent, and Renin, a chef who was no less powerful than a super chef. It is very simple to make enough money to buy food. But what about the legendary kitchen utensils? It would be bad if it was obtained by those in the dark cooking world. Rin said worriedly. He was originally from the dark cooking world, so he knew very well how terrifying the dark cooking world was. They dream of conquering the whole world through cooking. Now their strength is already very strong. If they get legendary kitchen utensils, it will be even more powerful. At that time, the world will be in danger. Don't worry, Run, as long as we can obtain God-level cooking skills. Even if the dark cooking world really obtains other legendary kitchen utensils by then, there's no need to be afraid at all. God-level cooking skills will teach them how to behave. The young master is full of confidence in his divine cooking skills, or in Su Bai, who has created divine cooking skills. You must know that their group leader is a real god, the supreme power of the 11 stars. Will the magical skills created by beings of this level be weak? Even if there is only the weakest version of God-level cooking skills in them all now. But the little master believes that it is not a problem to defeat the world. Not to mention that the Youngling knife is still in their hands. The dark cooking world simply cannot get together the legendary kitchen utensils. Even if they come together, they will never be a match against the God-level cooking skills. Moreover, after he masters God-level cooking skills, not only his cooking skills will be greatly improved, and after eating the food he cooked, you can become stronger. This becoming stronger does not mean that the cooking skills have become stronger, but that the strength has become stronger. When the time comes, I really meet people from the dark cooking world, and my cooking skills are no match for them. Compared with strength, the other party cannot compare. If the dark cooking world is not convinced, then don't blame him for using force to conquer it. Although he has no interest in becoming stronger, having strength by his side is not a bad thing. Seeing that the young master is so confident in his God-level cooking skills, there is nothing anyone else can do. The main reason is that without the backbone of the little master, their future adventures will be uncertain. Therefore, a group of people came to a relatively prosperous city and opened a small shop on the street. Work hard to obtain God-level cooking skills as soon as possible. Master Su Bai, Trunks, I sense the energy on Earth. This anger is Bulma's. Son Goku, who was heading to Earth under the leadership of Whis, suddenly said in surprise, "Oh, then you can use instant transmission." With Su Bai's consent, Son Goku used instant transmission to bring Su Bai and others to the Earth and appeared in front of Bulma. Bulma was startled when she saw so many people appearing in front of her at once. But when she saw Trunks, Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan, an expression of disbelief. I'm not dreaming. Bulma's voice was shaky. No, Mom, Dad, Uncle Goku, and Brother Gohan are resurrected, Trunks said with a smile. After receiving Trunks' affirmation, Bulma burst into tears instantly. She couldn't bear it anymore and burst into tears. Vegeta, Son Goku, and Son Gohan have been dead for a long time. She thought about them almost every day. Unexpectedly, they appeared so alive in front of her now. Her dream came true. Stop crying, Bulma. We are alive. Yeah, Bulma. We're resurrected, and it won't just be you and Trunks from now on. Seeing Bulma crying, Son Goku and Son Gohan quickly comforted her. Vegeta, on the other hand, wanted to say something but couldn't. When Vegeta from the future died, his relationship with Bulma was not deep, and it could even be said that there was no relationship at all. However, when I saw the woman in front of me, the woman who raised their son alone, crying, he didn't know why, but he actually felt pain in his heart. This was the first time he felt like this. Su Bai was also very moved when she saw this touching scene of reunion. No matter when, this kind of reunion scene is so touching and touching. Of course, in addition to this, he also witnessed Son Goku's instant transmission. It can only be said that it is indeed a magical skill, and I returned to the Earth in no time. If Whis were allowed to continue sailing, it would take several more minutes to reach Earth. Chapter 34 Upgrade Instant Transmission. The last one, Broly. After Su Bai witnessed Son Goku's instant transmission, you watched Son Goku perform instant transmission and understood the technique of instant transmission. You have upgraded and created a new instant transmission based on the ability to use it only after sensing Ki. Now, not only can you travel to places you have not been to by sensing Ki, but you can also freely travel to places you have visited. With the help of his incredible understanding, Su-Bai upgraded the original instant transmission. Son Goku's instant transmission can only be used by sensing ki each time. Even if you want to go to a place you have already visited, you need to feel ki again. Therefore, as long as there are no people, you cannot go because there is no ki. But after the upgrade, instant transmission requires sensing ki in addition to traveling to places that have never been before. As long as he has been to any place, he can use instant transmission to reach it without having to sense ki. In other words, he can now return to Gods of Destruction in an instant, even if there is no one on Gods of Destruction. This will make it much easier to travel between Earth and the Gods of Destruction in the future. If the Earth encounters any crisis, we can arrive in an instant. Although with his strength, sensing ki is very fast, but it's still nice to be able to save this step. Moreover, even he couldn't sense the ki in some places. For example, other universes, such as the world of nothing, such as Xeno Temple. But if he goes to these places in the future, he can also use the upgraded instant transmission to reach him. Instant transmission is indeed a magical skill, and it can not only be used in combat. On the road, it is even more of a magical skill. Trunks, Son Goku, and others had a good time reminiscing with Bulma. Oh, it would be great if my mother could be resurrected too. Son Gohan looked at the deep mother-son love between Trunks and Bulma and said with envy, "As long as you can win the competition this time, then I will resurrect the rest of your friends and family." Su-Bai said the reason why he did not resurrect others was to give Son Goku and the others a motivation. Think of this as a reward for Son Goku and the others. With this reward, Vegeta will not talk about it for now, but Son Goku and Son Gohan will definitely exert 102% of their strength. Really? Master Su-Bai, Son Goku, Son Gohan, and even Trunks looked at Su-Bai with excitement. Of course it's true. Do I need to lie to you? Great. We must win this competition. Son Goku and Son Gohan are full of fighting spirit. In order to resurrect others, they must win this competition. Seeing that the two of them were full of fighting spirit, Su-Bai nodded with satisfaction. In this way, Son Goku will not do what he did in the original work, deliberately admitting defeat in order to see Manaka's strength. Even if he continues to fight, he will not be his opponent. Moreover, in the original work, Son Goku also wants to abolish the rule of not killing people, so that he can take action as much as he likes. This kind of behavior should not happen now. Because of a mistake, he will lose the opportunity to resurrect his good friend Klin. After reminiscing, Bulma knew that Trunks and the others still had things to do and would not stay on Earth, so he did not stop them and let them do as they pleased. Master Su-Bai, I'm really sorry for wasting your time. It's okay. I'm very happy to see you guys reunited. Since you have finished reminiscing about old times, let's go and find the last person to participate in the competition. Good. Trunks and the others nodded, and were very curious about what this last person would look like. Master Su-Bai, where's the last person you mentioned? Whis asked. He didn't know who the person Su-Bai was talking about, so he didn't know where to go. Su-Bai did not answer, but began to feel it. With his current strength, it is not difficult to sense all the ki of the seventh universe. Soon, he found his goal. We found him, hold on to me. Others grabbed Su-Bai very curiously, not knowing what he wanted to do. Even Whis was very confused. The next moment, they disappeared. When he appeared again, he had arrived on a very desolate planet with a very harsh environment. This is instant transmission. Master Su-Bai, it turns out you can also do instant transmission. Others still didn't understand what was going on, but Son Goku had already reacted. What Su-Bai used just now is instant transmission. I didn't know how to do it before, but I know how to do it after seeing you use it. I learned it after just one look. Master Su-Bai is really amazing. Son Goku looked amazed. He spent a lot of time learning instant transmission, but Mr. Su-Bai actually learned it just by looking at it. It's really too strong. Even Trunks, Vegeta, and Son Gohan looked at Su-Bai in surprise. But Whis is very indifferent, because he has long been used to it. At the beginning, he was shocked by Su-Bai, but he got used to it later. Master Su-Bai, does the last person you mentioned live here? Well, he's right here. Master Su-Bai, where are we? This is Vampa, a planet with a very harsh environment that is not suitable for survival at all. That's right. The place Subai brought Son Goku and the others came to was Wampus Star. Maybe the name of the planet is very unfamiliar, but there was a very powerful person living on Vampa. This person is the legendary scion, Broly. That's right. The fourth person chosen by Subai to participate in the competition is Broly. With Broly's strength, as long as he is trained a little, even hit won't be enough for him. This is why Subai believes that he can win the second round of the competition, which is the competition between the strong. Just Son Goku and Vegeta alone. He has no confidence that he could defeat the strong men of the sixth universe. Others are easy to say, mainly because Hit is very troublesome. But with Broly, Hit's troubles are no longer troubles. With Broly's strength, how could Hit be his opponent? In the food competition, Subai plans to personally take part in cooking some delicious food with god-level cooking skills to bring a dimensionality reduction blow to the sixth universe. As for the competition between the strong, with Broly here, it would be a matter of course. So, although the competition has not started yet, but the victory in the two games has long been in their possession. Although flags should not be set up casually. But as a time traveler, there is no problem with setting up the flag. Destiny's Child's flag is still very stable. Chapter 35, Subai's training plan for Broly, Son Goku, and others. There's a very powerful being on this planet. I felt a very powerful energy. Son Goku looked in one direction and said excitedly. Son Gohan and Vegeta on the side also nodded. In their perception, there's indeed a very powerful energy on this planet. As for other Ki, they didn't feel it. And this energy, it's Scion. Vegeta was very surprised that there was actually a Scion living on this planet. The owner of this energy is our target this time. Subai said with a smile. Needless to say, the owner of this energy must be Broly. And the most important thing is that there is only this kind of energy on Wampa Star. When Subai sensed Broly's Ki before, he had already discovered that there was no other Ki around Broly. This also illustrates one thing. That is Broly's father, Paragus, who is dead. That's fine. Otherwise, Subai really hasn't thought about how to deal with Paragus. Leave with Paragus and head to the gods of destruction? He doesn't have the qualifications. He really thinks that anyone can go to the gods of destruction, find a random planet, and put him down? But with his strength, ordinary planets can't stop him. It would be bad if he dominates that planet, erase his memory, and put him on a planet? This is a good idea. But Broly still has deep feelings for his father, and it will be a bit troublesome for Broly to see his father from time to time. But now that Paragus is dead, there's no trouble. Subai brought Son Goku and others to Broly. Broly only wore an unknown object around his waist, revealing his strong upper body. He was chewing on the claws of a creature, looking like a wild man. But it's no wonder, living on such a harsh planet, how can we expect to have a high-quality life? It would be nice to survive. If it weren't for Broly's strength and tenacious vitality, he wouldn't even be able to survive. The arrival of Subai and others immediately attracted Broly's attention. Perhaps it was because he hadn't seen anyone for a long time, so after meeting Subai and the others, Broly looked at them curiously. "You are Broly. We are here to take you away." Subai looked at Broly and said with a smile. The old version of Broly was a pure villain, but the new version of Broly is actually a bit like Son Goku. He is a kind-hearted scion who is simply groomed by his father to be a tool of revenge. He has no freedom of his own and only follows his father's orders. But now that his father is dead, Broly is free. Leave. Broly blinked in confusion, as if he didn't quite understand what Subai meant. "We will take you away from this planet so that you can live in a more comfortable place." Well, that's fine. Broly, who has lost the control of his father, is more like Son Goku when he was a child, an innocent and kind-hearted big boy. Even Subai didn't continue to cheat. Broly agreed to leave. Maybe it's because Broly feels the aura of his own race from Son Goku and the others. Broly will seek revenge on Son Goku and the others, all at the instigation of Paragus. In other words, Broly's hatred towards Son Goku and Vegeta in the original work is exactly Paragus' hatred towards them. Now that Paragus is dead, Broly himself doesn't have any hatred towards Son Goku and Vegeta. After all, he is not the old version of Broly who was frightened by Son Goku's cry and then shouted Kakarot, Kakarot, trying to trouble Son Goku. I took Broly back to the gods of destruction and asked him to clean up and change his clothes. From the appearance, Broly is a tall boy who is somewhat honest. Who would have thought that he is actually the legendary Super Saiyan? Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan gathered around Broly and looked at him. Son Goku is even more eager to try and want to fight Broly. Okay, now that all the people participating in the competition are here, I have something to say to you next. Subai looked at Son Goku, Broly, and the other four and said he would not let Son Goku and the others just participate in the competition with the 6th universe, because now they're better at dealing with the others in the 6th universe. But against Hit, that was hopeless. Even Broly has little hope now. If Broly wants to defeat Hit, the first thing he has to do is control his passing power. It would be a bit troublesome if he lost his mind as soon as he went into a rage. After Broly can freely control his power, it doesn't mean that he can defeat Hit. He also needs to be able to successfully master Super Saiyan's transformation. Broly, who transforms into Super Saiyan, can definitely defeat Hit easily. Therefore, before the competition begins, Broly must first master his power of passing and maintain sanity when using it. Then there's mastering Super Saiyan's transformation. In this way, this competition will be stable. Of course, Son Goku and the others also need to be trained. Although they died very early, they still practiced very hard in the underworld. Therefore, their normal strength will not be worse than Son Goku and others in the main time and space. However, Son Goku of the main space and time mastered the Super Saiyan God and Super Blue transformations. Once transformed, the future Son Goku and the others will no longer be opponents. Although the competition with the 6th universe does not require them to transform into Super Saiyan God or even Super Blue, because even if they transform, they can't beat Hit. But Subai trained them not just for this competition with the 6th universe, but for the future of the 7th universe. There will be many powerful enemies appearing in the 7th universe in the future. It's impossible to just let him, the gods of destruction, take action every time a powerful enemy appears. It's impossible to let Trunks, the Supreme Kai, take action. Therefore, the 7th universe also needs its own guardian, just like the Pride team of the 11th universe. In this way, if anything happens in the future, just let them take action. As for how to train Son Goku and the others, Subai's idea is the same as training Trunks. First, let them master the transformation of God. They can transform into Super Sailor God, Super Blue, or even Super Blue 2 and Super Blue 4. The only difference from Trunks is that Trunks is Supreme Kai. His own power is the power of God, and his normal state is Super Saiyan God. As for Son Goku, they need to transform to achieve it. Therefore, without transforming, Trunks can beat the combined efforts of his father, his uncle, and his brother. Chapter 36. Poisoning Late at Night. Brother Subai, can you feed me some? Subai told Whis about his training plan. Although he proposed the training plan, it was Whis who actually took action. After all, Whis has been bored for so long. He can still hang out with others when he is bored. Whis has nothing to do when he is bored. No, finding something to do for Whis can also make him less bored. With Whis' ability, let alone training Son Goku and the others to transform into gods. Even if Broly can fully control his passing power, it won't be a problem. But it is not that easy to master Son Goku easily. This thing cannot be cultivated. It all depends on chance and understanding. Otherwise, Beerus wouldn't be the only one to master Ultra Instinct, and it would still be imperfect. He has already made the arrangements to compete with the strong men of the 6th universe. As for the food competition with the 6th universe, with his current god-level cooking skills, it would be a total dimensionality reduction attack. However, Subai still opened them all, because he seemed to have seen that the little boss had previously uploaded the preparation methods of various dishes he had made. He plans to use some delicacies from the world of Little Master to give that guy Compa a little food shock. You know, even with the young master's cooking skills, the dishes he cooked are already very delicious. If you use God-level cooking skills to make those dishes, I don't know how delicious they will be. In the mall, the little boss has uploaded many recipes. Golden egg fried rice, Shenron dumplings, catfish noodles, sea bream continent map. These are all dishes he has made, and they're all very classic dishes. It wasn't expensive anyway, so Subai just bought all the cooking methods for these dishes. Isn't it a bit too bullying to compete with these dishes? But since Compa is the one competing, you can't blame me. If I can't break his heart with delicious food, then my God-level cooking skills and so many dishes will be in vain. Of course, after learning how to make these dishes, you still have to reward your 5 internal organs temple first. Although Subai doesn't like cooking, she can still make these classic dishes. With the blessing of divine cooking skills, Subai quickly prepared these dishes. Then, he opened the lid with some anticipation, wanting to see if these dishes could really shine. The next moment, dazzling lights bloomed on the table. Each dish, accompanied by the extremely rich and tangy aroma, shines with dazzling light. When the light dissipated, Subai saw that the cooking he made was exactly the same as in the anime, just as he remembered it when he was a child. Subai took a photo and sent it to the group. As a group leader, how could he be so selfish? If there is something delicious, the group members will naturally eat it first. If you don't poison the food late at night, then half the meaning of cooking food will be lost. Subai, picture, I just made a few dishes you guys eat first. Little boss, isn't this the dish I uploaded? Group leader, you bought them all. Subai, yes, I'm very curious about what these dishes will taste like when they are made with divine cooking skills. Guojing, needless to say, it must be delicious. Guojing is not a foodie, but after seeing the photos taken by Subai and the extremely tempting dishes in the photos, he couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Butterfly Ninja. Looking at the photos taken by the group leader, I seem to smell the fragrance. Xiao Longnu. Me too, Brother Subai. Can you feed me a little? Please, please, Diya. I want to eat too. Brother Subai, can you feed me some too? Poor Garp. The food made by the group leader. Isn't it much more delicious than my sunbae? Lu Paiqiang. At least there is no shortage of food here now. Otherwise, I guess I would have gone crazy by now. Oga Tatsumi. The cooking skills of the group leader are simply incomparable to that guy Hilda. I really hope that guy can learn his cooking skills and stop making such dark dishes. Everyone in the group couldn't help but get excited after seeing the photos of Subai's cooking. Even if they're not foodies, who can resist such tempting dishes? Therefore, not only Xiao Longnu and Diya, but also big men like Garp, Lu Paiqiang, and Guojing all made expressions. It's like little cubs waiting to be fed. Subai, the dishes I photographed cannot be eaten by you. With your current strength, you cannot withstand their effects. Subai, don't forget, cooking with God-level cooking skills can improve your strength, but your strength is not enough. If you improve too much all at once, you will be blown away. You must know that his God-level cooking skills are complete. The cooking you make has the greatest effect on improving your strength, although it has no effect on him. But for other group members, the effect is too strong enough to burst them. Subai, but you don't need to be too sad. I can cook for you using the God-level cooking skills in the mall so that you can bear it. Before the group members could express any disappointment, Subai said again. Xiao Longnu. Really? That's great. Thank you, Brother Subai. Diya, Brother Subai is really kind to us. Butterfly Ninja. Thank you so much, Brother Subai. Oga Tatsumi. Thank you, Subai, for the +1. Guojing. Thank you, Brother Subai +2. Garp. Thank you, Brother Subai, for +3. Subai. It's okay for girls to call me Brother Subai. Why do you guys call me Brother Subai? Garp. Ahem, cough, that's right. Subai, just wait. Subai did not immediately prepare food for the group members. Between making food for the group members right away and eating the food, I made myself first. He chose the latter. After all, it doesn't taste good when it's cold. The moment the food entered his mouth, Subai felt that his tongue was being gently caressed and his taste buds were enjoying the ultimate. These dishes are much more delicious than the ones I cooked before. After all, the previous cooking was done casually by him. And the cuisine this time is a classic cuisine from Zidangjiya. Subai even felt that if those who were weak were allowed to eat, let alone the question of whether they would be bursting, they may actually see hallucinations after eating food and see girls dancing in front of them, just like in anime. This is the cuisine of the first generation of Medicine King. Sure enough, in the past, Subai always wolfed down her meals. But this time, he chewed and savored it carefully. In the face of such delicious food, if you still gobble it up, it would really be disrespectful to the food. Chapter 37, Feeding from Subai. Give Brother Subai a blowing kiss. After eating all the delicious food, Subai still felt a little unsatisfied. However, he did not forget to feed the cubs in his group. He used an infinitely weakened version of his god-level cooking skills to cook the same dish, then stuffed it into a red envelope and sent it to the group. Subai, red envelope. I'm here to feed you. Ding. Group member Garp received the red envelope. Ding. Group member Xiao Longnu received the red envelope. Ding. The young leader of the group received the red envelope. Everyone in the group received Subai's red envelope. Garp, thank you, group leader. Xiao Longnu, thank you so much, Brother Subai. I like Brother Subai so much. Blow a kiss, Butterfly Ninja. Me too. Blow a kiss, Diya. Add me one. Blow a kiss. Originally, Guijing, Oga Tatsumi, and others also wanted to send blowing kiss expressions. But thinking about what the previous group leader said, I might as well forget it. The group owner didn't even allow them to call him Brother Subai, let alone send him a blowing kiss emoji. After opening the red envelope, exquisite and tempting dishes appeared in front of them. The rich aroma and the alluring dishes were like pieces of art, making them reluctant to destroy them. Is this what the group leader used to cook with god-level cooking skills? Sure enough, it's not on the same level as the cooking I do. The young master looked at the food in front of him with excitement and admiration on his face. The other people in the chat group are powerful, especially the group leader, who is even more powerful than imagined. But he was just shocked and admired. But now, he worships the group leader extremely, because the group leader's cooking skills are far superior to his. Before, he just knew that god-level cooking skills would definitely be very strong. But how strong he was, he couldn't tell. But now he knew that these dishes made by the group leader with god-level cooking skills, he knew even before eating them, they were absolutely delicious. If the dark culinary world masters god-level cooking skills, then their desire to control the world with cooking will be easily realized. Moreover, this is just the food made by the group leader using the god-level cooking skills in the mall. The god-level cooking skills in the mall are the weakest version. What about the dishes that the group leader took photos of before? That was made by the group leader using the complete version of god-level cooking skills. What point will it reach? This made the young master even more determined to obtain god-level cooking skills. With such level of cooking skills, what kind of dark culinary world is that? Even if you give them all the legendary kitchen utensils, it won't be enough for him to fight alone. The aroma emanating from the cooking also attracted Run and Dudu to come over. Seeing the dishes appearing in front of the young master, none of them could move their eyes away. Little master, did you do all this? Of course not. This was done by the group leader I told you about before. Moreover, he uses god-level cooking skills to prepare these dishes. Is this the power of god-level cooking? Even if you haven't eaten it yet, just by seeing the presentation and smelling the aroma, you can be sure that these dishes are absolutely, supremely delicious. Little master, can we have a try? Of course. The young master greeted Run and others, and he couldn't wait to start tasting it. When they tasted the food, these medicine kings who brought hallucinations to others also had hallucinations themselves. They only felt that there were beauties singing and dancing around them, as if they had entered a fairyland. In front of these dishes, the dishes they make are all nonsense. Originally, they were very confident in their cooking skills, but now they don't think so. In the face of god-level cooking skills, their cooking skills are simply worse than novices. Young master, you must acquire god-level cooking skills. With god-level cooking skills, the dark culinary world is nothing to fear, Rin said to the young master very seriously. Before, he had some doubts about god-level cooking skills. But now, there is no doubt at all, and there is the same confidence as the little master. It's no wonder that the young master was so confident before that as long as he mastered God-level cooking skills, he would not be afraid of the dark cooking world. Now he finally understands what does the dark cooking world mean in front of God-level cooking skills. So what if they master the legendary kitchen utensils? You have to kneel down in front of God-level cooking skills. It is indeed a cooking skill created by the leader of the gods. This is just the weakest God-level cooking skill. It is the God-level cooking skill after the group leader weakened his full version of God-level cooking skills to the point where it cannot be weakened. I really don't know how far the complete version of God-level cooking will reach. The young master looked yearning. I don't know when he will be able to master the complete version of God-level cooking skills. But since he joined the chat group, he will probably learn it one day. Maybe it just took a little longer. In this case, he should also learn the God-level breathing method to enhance his strength. The main reason is that as your strength becomes stronger, your lifespan will also increase. It would be too embarrassing if he died of old age before he could master the God-level cooking skills. Condor World. Guo Jing devoured the food in front of him. Even he, who doesn't have high requirements for food, as long as he can eat it, was deeply impressed by the cooking skills of the group leader. Even after finishing all the food, he licked all the plates clean. Later, Guo Jing also clearly felt that his strength was rapidly improving. Is this the effect of the food made by God-level cooking? You can become stronger as long as you eat it. Guo Jing could clearly feel that his strength had improved a lot compared to before. If his previous strength was at best a second-rate master in the arena, then he is now close to a first-class master. Just after eating one meal, his strength has improved so much. This God-level cooking skill is truly extraordinary. And how powerful is the God-level breathing method that is even stronger than God-level cooking skills? Guo Jing looked at his points. He had also killed many bandits during this period and obtained a lot of their treasures. Of course, he didn't exchange all the treasures into points. Some of the treasures were returned by him to the people who were oppressed by the bandits. Not only that, he also helped many people to deal with some officials and rich people who were unkind for their wealth. This not only allowed him to gain a lot of points, but also gained a very high reputation among the people. Now he is preparing to overthrow the Xiao and Song royal families. In the words of other group members, to overthrow the Xiao and Song royal families, we must not only rely on force, but also rely on the support of the people. Of course, he is not only doing it for the sake of people's support, but also doing something good for the people. Chapter 38. Make Hong Qigong his own. Hong Qigong accepts Guo Jing as his disciple. My current points are still some distance away from purchasing a God-level breathing method, but it's not far away from purchasing God-level cooking skills. Guo Jing himself did not expect that the bandits, the ruthless rich, and the corrupt officials he killed would actually have so much treasure. Even if he used part of it to relieve the people and converted the rest into points, he would be able to afford God-level cooking skills. When I think about these guys having so much money, many people don't even have enough to eat. Guo Jing became more and more disappointed with this dynasty. While the rich wine and meat smell, the road with frozen bone, really the best portrayal. Moreover, there are Jin Kingdom and Mongolia Kingdom watching covetously outside. It can be said that if some changes are not made, it will only be a matter of time before this country will perish. What a pity, what a pity. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. Guo Jing looked up and saw an old beggar sitting in a tree, drooling while looking at the plate in front of him. Who are you? Guo Jing asked very curiously. I'm just an old beggar. I smelled a very strong fragrance just now. When the fragrance came over, I found that the plate in front of you was empty. It's such a pity, Hong Qigong said with great regret while looking at the plate in front of Guo Jing. He doesn't have many hobbies. His biggest hobby is eating. Just now, he suddenly smelled a very strong fragrance and followed the fragrance to find it. But when he arrived, he saw empty plates and a young man. Needless to say, this young man must have finished all the delicacies. Moreover, the place where he smelled the fragrance just now was not close to here. But the fragrance can actually float so far away, which shows how fragrant this food is. How could a delicacy with this kind of fragrance be any worse in taste? Boy, were you the one who cooked all the delicious food just now? Han Kigong looked at Guijing and said expectantly, if it was really this kid who made it, could he be allowed to make some more for himself to taste? No, the delicious food just now was not made by me. Guijing shook his head. This made Han Kigong a little disappointed. Then how did you get those delicacies? It doesn't look like there are people in this wilderness. Han Kigong was very curious. Where did Guijing's delicacies come from in such a wilderness? This person was given to me, but I can't tell you who gave it to me. Although Guijing is honest, it does not mean that he is stupid. How could he tell a strange old beggar about the chat group? Then will that person give you delicious food again? I don't know about that. Han Kigong could tell that Guijing was hiding something. But this is normal. If you don't have a basic sense of vigilance when facing a stranger like him, then this kid is not suitable to go out and make a living in the world. But how can we eat the delicious food this kid just ate? How about taking this guy as your disciple? This is a good idea. Once he becomes his disciple, if this kid gets something good in the future, why don't he show his respect to his master? While Han Kigong was thinking, Guijing also secretly took a photo of Han Kigong and sent it to the group. Guijing, at group leader Su by group leader, can you help me take a look at this old gentleman? Guijing, he suddenly appeared in front of me and was very interested in the delicious food you gave me, but I had already finished it. Guijing didn't know who Han Kigong was, but he knew that the group leader must know. None of the group members are surprised that the group leader knows things about his own world. To them, this is normal. The group leader is a god, and he is also a very powerful god. Even if they are not in the same world, it is very simple to know things about their world. Subai, at Guijing, his name is Han Kigong. There are several top powerhouses in your world, namely East Evil, West Poison, South Emperor, Bei Beggar, and Zhong Shantong. Subai, and he is Bei, the leader of the Beggar clan. Don't worry, he is not a bad person. Guijing, so that's it. Thank you, group leader, for informing me. Subai, if possible, you can make him one of your own. Not only is he powerful, but the Beggar gang is also a very powerful force. Subai, it will be very helpful for you to overthrow the Xiao and Song royal families. Although the Beggar gang seems to be just a group of beggars gathered together, but the strength is also very powerful. The key is that there are so many people almost everywhere. Moreover, the leader of the gang, Han Kigong, is one of the best in the world. Guijing wanted to replace the Xiao and Song royal family, and the Beggars gang and Han Kigong could be said to be good helpers. After receiving the guidance from the group leader, Guijing lost his vigilance in his eyes when he looked at Han Kigong. Han Kigong also discovered this. This made him very curious. He didn't know what Guijing was thinking just now. Why did he suddenly lose his vigilance towards him? Could it be that he is not a bad person? Or did the other party guess that he wanted to accept him as his disciple? Dare I ask this senior? Is he Senior Bei Han Kigong? Guijing bowed respectfully to Han Kigong. Oh, do you recognize me? Han Kigong was a little surprised. Was it because this boy recognized his identity that he lost his vigilance towards him? I apologize for not recognizing Senior just now. I think you're a very good boy. How about you? Do you want to become my teacher? If anyone else who knew Han Kigong's identity would be very surprised to hear that he wanted to accept Guijing as his disciple. You must know that Han Kigong, the leader of the Beggar clan, will not accept disciples easily. There are many people who want to become his disciples, but Han Kigong has never accepted a disciple. But now he actually started accepting disciples himself. But if they knew Han Kigong's purpose of accepting Guijing as his disciple, they would definitely be speechless. He actually took on a disciple just for the sake of eating delicious food. It really fits his character. When Guijing heard that Han Kigong wanted to accept him as his disciple, Guijing immediately agreed without hesitation. Master, please accept my disciple's bow. Now that the group leader has said it, Han Kigong and the Beggar gang are a great help, allowing him to turn the other party into one of his own. Originally, he was still thinking about how to make Han Kigong one of his own. He didn't expect that the other party would actually accept him as his disciple. It really takes no effort at all. Okay. Han Qigong was also very satisfied with accepting Guojing as his disciple, not just because he can get delicious food from Guojing Shaojing in the future, and also because he finally has a disciple. At least the position of leader of the beggar clan finally has a successor. In Han Qigong's view, no one in the current beggar clan can succeed as the leader. I just don't know what the apprentice he has accepted is like. Chapter 39, Su Bai. Let me show you a scene of a loving father and a filial son. Good disciple, since we are master and disciple now, if you have anything in the future, you should think of master. Han Qigong said with a clear intention. He just had to say it clearly. I understand, master. Guojing wasn't stupid either. He knew from Han Qigong's behavior before that he definitely wanted to eat the food cooked by the group leader. However, it is only an occasional event that the group leader cooks. I don't know when the next time the group leader will feed them. But it doesn't matter. With his current points, he will be able to gain God-level cooking skills right away. When the time comes, he will cook for his master. But now his strength has been greatly improved, and he now has a master, and his master is also the leader of the beggar clan. Then his progress will be much faster. Dragon Ball World. Su Bai, who had satisfied his appetite, walked out of the castle and came to the place of practice. At this time, Whis is teaching Broly, while Son Goku, Vegeta, and Son Gohan are being taught by Trunks. Because according to Su Bai's arrangement, Son Goku and others were first allowed to master the power of God and be able to perform divine transformation. And Trunks is already Supreme Kai, so it is up to Trunks to let Son Goku and the others master the power of God. Son Goku and Son Gohan were fine, but Vegeta was very unhappy. Will I accept my son's teachings? Isn't this funny? Therefore, when Trunks was guiding Son Goku and Son Gohan to practice, Vegeta stood aside very arrogantly, appearing to be a maverick. Seeing this scene, Trunks was also very helpless. He walked up to his father and said, "Dad, please join us in the training." "Oomph. Why should I accept your training?" Vegeta snorted and said, very dissatisfied. In his opinion, for his son to teach me how to practice, this is simply something that goes against Tiangang. Because according to Master Su Bai's arrangement, you, Uncle Goku, and Brother Gohan must first master the transformation of God. I have mastered the transformation of God. So Mr. Whis gave me this task, and he went to teach Mr. Broly. What a divine transformation. I don't believe how powerful this divine transformation can be. In that case, then Trunks, show your dad how powerful the God transformation is, which he despises. At this time, Su Bai spoke. Vegeta is arrogant. This is normal. But the arrogance he exudes depends on the occasion. On the planet gods of destruction, exuding pride in his presence, I really have never experienced the beatings from society. So, to let Vegeta go through the beating, Su Bai handed it over to Trunks. What kind of beating could be worse than being beaten by one's own son? Yes, Trunks obeyed Su Bai's order and looked at his father helplessly. Why can't his dad be better? Now, Lord Su Bai has spoken. Su Bai's words, Trunks knew it very well. Showing his father the power of God's transformation meant giving his father a good beating. Although it seems a little bad for a son to beat his father, there is nothing he can do about it. I can only let my father feel the love from his son. Let me see how powerful your so-called divine transformation is. Vegeta hasn't realized the seriousness of the problem yet. After hearing what Su Bai said, he said to Trunks with confidence. He wanted to see how powerful this so-called divine transformation was. He was not wasting his time in the underworld these years. He was practicing every day. He didn't believe that he, the father, could be a match for Trunks, the son. He wants Trunks to know that Daddy is Daddy after all. Seeing that Vegeta was about to fight Trunks, Son Goku and Son Gohan also stopped practicing, looking forward to this battle between father and son. Moreover, they can also see how powerful the transformation of God is. Dad, please. Trunks motioned for his father to take action first. Don't you use that divine transformation? My situation is different from yours. What I look like now is a kind of divine transformation to you. According to Master Su Bai, his current normal state is equivalent to the Super Saiyan God transformation of other Saiyans. Because he is now Supreme Kai, the power becomes the power of a god. Other Scions, on the other hand, need to transform to become Super Scion gods and cannot remain the normal Super Scion gods like him. Therefore, there is no need for him to undergo a stronger divine transformation. As long as he is normal, his father cannot deal with it. Vegeta still doesn't understand what Trunks means. He just thinks that Trunks is looking down on him and does not undergo the Super Saiyan transformation. This made Vegeta even more upset. In that case, let me see the results of your cultivation in the human world over the years, Vegeta said as he quickly rushed towards Trunks. He also didn't use transformation. He didn't believe that he would be weaker than Trunks when both of them were normal. Alas, seeing his father rushing towards him without transforming, Trunks sighed helplessly. Even if his father transforms, he cannot be his opponent. Not to mention that he hasn't transformed yet. In his eyes, his father's speed was simply too slow. Trunks just stood there without moving. Vegeta thought it was because Trunks didn't react and couldn't help but sneer. Even if the opponent is his own son, he will not be polite. He died young and failed to fulfill any of his father's responsibilities while his son was growing up. So now, he has to fulfill his responsibilities as a father. Vegeta came to Trunks, waved his fists rapidly, and launched a fierce attack on Trunks. However, what seemed like a fast attack to others seemed to be in slow motion to Trunks. It was too slow. He dodged very casually and dodged all his father's attacks. He didn't even move his feet. How can this be? Vegeta couldn't believe it. All of his attacks were dodged by Trunks. Moreover, it still seems so comfortable. Vegeta, who did not believe in evil, continued to attack. He did not believe that Trunks' strength would really surpass him. But no matter how he attacked, let alone hurt Trunks, he didn't even touch Trunks. In Trunks' eyes, his father's attacks were as slow as a turtle, and he was the only one who could hit him. Subai recorded this scene and sent it to the group. Subai, let me show you a touching scene of a loving father and a filial son. Chapter 40. This is what you call a loving father and a filial son, Brother Subai? Garp, a touching scene of a loving father and a filial son? Is it a scene of harmony between father and son? Butterfly Ninja, father is kind and son is filial. What a beautiful word. This scene must be very touching. Diya, if Kara hadn't killed my parents, I would be able to live with my own parents as a loving father and a filial son, and a loving mother and a filial daughter. Guo Jing, my father also passed away very early, and I can no longer be filial to him. Guo Jing, but it's also good to see other touching scenes of father and son being kind and filial. The group members are very interested in the video recorded by Subai. A touching picture of a loving father and a filial son. Father is kind and son is filial. What a beautiful word. This scene must be very touching. Although they haven't watched it yet, they can already imagine the heartwarming scene between a father and son. Or it could be the scene of a father and son reunited after a long absence, hugging each other and crying. But when they clicked on the video, they were all stunned. What about the promised father being kind and the son being filial? What about the touching scene you promised? How come they saw two people fighting? Oh no, it's not two people fighting. Instead, one person was attacking another person, and that person stood still and dodged all the other person's attacks. This battle is indeed exciting, but does it have anything to do with a loving father and a filial son, or with the touching scene? Garp, at Group Subai, Mr. Group Leader, is this the touching picture of a loving father and a filial son? Butterfly Ninja, why did I only see two people fighting? Oga Tatsumi, oh, I understand. It must be the father who is standing still, teaching his son how to fight. Oga Tatsumi, if that's the case, it's indeed a father's kindness and a son's filial piety. It's quite touching. Xiao Longnu, it's like master teaching me? That's really touching. Seeing Oga Tatsumi's explanation, other group members also suddenly realized, yes, there is still such a possibility. It must be the father who stands still, teaching his son how to fight. This does include a father's love for his son. It can indeed be said to be a touching picture of a loving father and a filial son. Subai, you have misunderstood. In fact, the person standing to avoid the attack is the son. Subai. And the one who is launching a fierce attack is the father. Garp. Ogatatsumi. Xiao Longnu. Butterfly Ninja. Seeing Subai's words, the other group members were all speechless. It turns out that it took a long time, but they made a mistake. The one who stands to avoid the attack is the son, and the one who launches the fierce attack is the father. Then here comes the problem. What kind of fatherly and filial piety is this? Lu Paiqiang, group leader, could it be that this father has been lying down for a long time and his body has deteriorated a bit? Lu Paiqiang. So, now this son is helping his father with rehabilitation? Lu Paiqiang could only think of this possibility. Otherwise, it is really impossible to explain why the touching scene of a loving father and a filial son. It would be a father who is constantly attacking his son. Subai. No, it was the father who thought he was better than his son. So the son taught his father what it means to be better than someone who is good at it. Subai, isn't this touching? Garp, it's very touching, very touching. Garp thought of the training he had given his son and grandson in the past. In fact, it is essentially similar to the situation in the video. But in the video, the son is just teaching his father. And the teaching methods are also so rough and wild. Butterfly Ninja. So, Brother Subai, can you please explain what is going on? Why did the father and son suddenly fight? Subai, it's nothing. This son is teaching his father and the other two to become stronger. Subai, but his father thinks he is stronger than his son. So why should he accept his son's teachings? Subai, so I let this son show his strength and let his father know what it means to be better than someone who is good at it. Xiao Longnu. It turns out that it was Brother Subai who made the father and son fight. Diya. Brother Subai just wanted to let this proud father know that his son has surpassed him. Subai, yes, this father is very arrogant. I will ask his son to polish off his arrogance. In order to let other group members see it more clearly, Subai started the live broadcast. At this time, after Trunks dodged a series of attacks, Vegeta was completely unhappy. He originally saw that Trunks didn't change, and he didn't change either. But now, it seems that this is no longer possible. In the next moment, Vegeta transformed into a Super Saiyan and continued to attack Trunks fiercely after his increased strength. He didn't believe it. He had already turned into a Super Saiyan. Could it be that he still couldn't hit his own son? But it turned out that it was true. For Trunks, it makes no difference whether his father becomes Super Saiyan or not. He can still dodge the opponent's attacks very easily. Of course, even if he doesn't hide, there's no problem at all. With his strength, even if he is attacked by his father, he will remain unscathed. But in this way, the impact on his father would be even greater. At least he has escaped his father's attack. If you don't even hide and just let the other party attack you, you will still be unscathed. For a proud father like me, it is very likely that he will suffer a psychological breakdown. Apart from dodging, Trunks had no intention of doing anything else, nor would he attack his father. After all, with his current strength, his father couldn't even block a move. Although he knew that Master Subai wanted him to beat his father. But the other person is his father after all. As a son, he really can't do anything. I can only apologize to Lord Subai later. Damn it, damn it. As Vegeta roared, his hair stood up even higher and arcs flashed on the surrounding flames. Super 2. Seeing that Super 1 is still useless against Trunks, Vegeta turns into Super 2. This is the transformation he cultivated in the underworld. A Super Saiyan that surpasses Super Saiyan. He didn't believe that even Super 2 couldn't hit Trunks. But the facts prove that it really doesn't work. Whether it's the first or second transformation, there is no difference in front of Trunks, who is always a Super Saiyan god. It's the same even if Vegeta has a stronger transformation. After all, Super Saiyan God itself is a transformation that is superior to ordinary Super Saiyan transformations. Chapter 41. The father is so cruel to his son. Is he being punished? Is Trunks the transformed god now? If that's the case, he's really too powerful. Son Goku said his son Gohan from the side. You must know that he and Vegeta practiced together in the underworld, and he still knows Vegeta's strength very well. But now, Vegeta couldn't even make Trunks move a step, and he didn't even hit Trunks. This strength is simply terrifying. At least this divine transformation is on the same level as Super 3, and it is very likely to be above Super 3. Yeah, I didn't expect Trunks to have grown to this point. Son Gohan looked at Trunks with emotion. Trunks is no longer the little boy who needs his protection. He has grown up, and his strength has grown to this point. Now Trunks has grown into a reliable and powerful young man. Dad, you'd better give up. With your current strength, there is no way you can be my opponent, Trunks said while dodging Vegeta's attacks. He felt that it was enough to get here, and there was no need to continue fighting. But Trunks' words were like adding fuel to the fire, making Vegeta's anger even more intense. How dare you underestimate me? If you have the guts, don't hide. As long as you get hit by me, you will definitely see my strength. Huh? Vegeta's words sound a bit familiar. Why do I remember that Frieza also said it before? After hearing Vegeta's words, Son Goku said with a nostalgic look on his face. When he fought Frieza on Namek, Frieza also said the same thing to him. Then he was deliberately hit by Frieza's attack, but of course he was unscathed. He used practical actions to explain to Frieza that even if he was hit, nothing would happen to him. So the question is, will Trunks be the same as he was before? There is indeed something to your so-called divine transformation, but it's not all my strength yet. Next, I'll let you see my true strength, Vegeta said, stopping to continue attacking Trunks and jumping to a place not far away. Vegeta roared, and an even more powerful aura burst out from him. Later, his hair began to grow longer, reaching his waist. His eyebrows also disappeared, and his entire face became more sinister. Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta took out his most powerful transformation, Super Saiyan 3. This is the result of my cultivation in the underworld. After transforming into Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta's confidence returned, and he sneered at Trunks when he was practicing with Kakarot and Gohan in the underworld. The improvement is really huge. Not only did he surpass Super Saiyan, he even surpassed Super Saiyan who surpassed Super Saiyan. This is the current Super 3 transformation. He didn't believe that such a powerful Super Saiyan 3 would lose to the so-called God's transformation. This time, Vegeta didn't rush in front of Trunks, but spread his hands and began to gather energy. He wants to use his most powerful move to teach Trunks a lesson. Tell him not to be arrogant in front of his father in the future. Seeing this scene, Trunks sighed again, shook his head helplessly, and was ready to dodge. But this time, Trunks, you better give up and keep dodging. If you don't defeat your father head-on, he will never give up. Subai said to Trunks. He knew that Trunks couldn't bear to do something to his father, which was perfectly normal. But the problem is, with Vegeta's character, if he is not defeated head-on, he refused to give up no matter what. It was useless for Trunks to continue dodging. It was just a waste of time. I understand, Master Subai. Trunks looked at Subai and nodded. Now that Mr. Subai has spoken again, there is nothing he can do. Dad, I'm sorry. Final flash. At this time, Vegeta's energy had been accumulated. Seeing that Trunks' attention was not on him, he quickly launched an attack. An extremely powerful energy beam was released from between Vegeta's hands and arrived in front of Trunks in the blink of an eye. By the time Trunks turned around, Vegeta's attack had already arrived in front of him. However, Trunks didn't panic at all. He didn't hide anymore, but just stood there and let his father's attack fall on him. The next moment, Trunks was suddenly swallowed up by a strong explosion and thick smoke. Seeing this scene, the group members were stunned. Garp, is this really a father and son? As a father, it would be a bit too cruel to attack his son. Oga Tatsumi, that is to say, is it possible that they are not biological? But even if they're not biological, they wouldn't be so cruel. Oga Tatsumi is also a father now, although little Baru is not his biological child. But after being together for so long, the relationship between them has become very deep. It is simply impossible for him to deal such a heavy blow to little Baru. But this Vegeta actually dealt such a harsh hand to his own son. Even if it's not his biological son, that's not the case. Or is there something bloody, like an idol drama happening? For example, This Trunks was actually born to Vegeta's wife and another man, and gave Vegeta a green hat or something? If this is the case, then it is understandable why Vegeta would be so harsh. Oga Tatsumi expressed his guess and was recognized by others. Guo Jing. If this were in our time, such children would indeed be criticized. Butterfly Ninja. But even if that's the case, this Vegeta is going to find a woman. What's the point of venting his anger on a child? The child is innocent. Subai, let me tell you, you have watched too many idol dramas, and you are thinking about something. Seeing the group chat, Subai was also happy. Good guy, these guys are really good at figuring things out. They figure out such a bloody thing just like that. If Bulma knew this, wouldn't he spit out a few mouthfuls of blood? She stayed with Vegeta for so long and raised Trunks alone. To be misunderstood like this? But it's no wonder he was misunderstood. After all, Vegeta was so cruel to his son, which was completely unlike something a biological father could do. Chapter 42, the best way to conquer a person is to crush him with strength. Subai, you are thinking too much. This father and son are indeed biological father and son. Subai, it's just that this father is too proud. He refuses to admit that he is not as strong as his son, and the son even asked his father to give up. Subai, how can such a proud person endure it? So he just took action with all his strength and wanted to teach his son a lesson. Lu Paiqiang, so that's it. Then this father is really too proud, and he would even kill his own son. He is also a father now. But no matter how arrogant he is, he can't be cruel to his son. What's more, doesn't a father hope that his son will become a talented person and be able to excel in his career? This is beyond yourself. You should be happy. Why are you still angry? How arrogant is this Vegeta? Little Dragon Girl, is Trunks okay? He won't be beaten to death by his father, right? The kind-hearted little Dragon Girl is very worried about Trunks' safety. After all, dying at the hands of your own father is really sad. Subai, don't worry, Trunks is unharmed. Subai, according to the strength of the chat group, this Vegeta is at most 8 stars in strength. But Trunks, even if it is not 10 stars, is already 9 stars in strength. Subai, no matter how hard Vegeta attacks, it's impossible to hurt Trunks. Garp, that's good. But the world where the group leader lives is really scary. Any strong person has at least 8 stars. Butterfly Ninja, of course, Brother Subai is so powerful. How can a world he lives in be weak? Subai, okay, I just told Trunks to stop dodging. Subai, the winner of this battle will be determined soon. Seeing Trunks being hit by his own attack, Vegeta also sneered. Sure enough, Trunks is still too young, and being distracted during battle is a taboo. This time, as a father, he taught his son this truth. However, as the explosion and smoke dissipated, Trunks' figure reappeared. Vegeta couldn't believe his eyes. How is this possible? How is this possible? At this time, Trunks, not to mention being injured, didn't even have a messed up hairstyle. As for injuries, that's even more unscathed. So strong. I didn't expect Trunks to be so strong now. Is this the transformation of God? Even Son Goku and Son Gohan, who were watching the battle, were very surprised. They had seen clearly just now that Trunks was hit head-on by Vegeta's attack and did not dodge. However, Trunks was unscathed. This means that Trunks' strength surpasses Vegeta by a lot. Even if Vegeta attacks with all his strength, it can't do anything to him. This also made them more aware of the power of God's transformation. If they can master the transformation of God, their strength will definitely be greatly improved. Dad, Master Subai has spoken just now, so I can only defeat you. You won't know until you beat me whether you can defeat me. Vegeta was still arrogant, but the next moment he saw that Trunks had disappeared. Later, Vegeta felt a hit on the back of his neck. Then his vision went dark and he lost consciousness. It turned out that Trunks quickly came up behind his father and then hit him on the back of the neck with a knife, knocking his father unconscious. Instant kill. Facing Vegeta, who has become Super 3, Trunks is a complete instant kill. After a while, Vegeta woke up and looked at Trunks, Son Goku, and others around him. He knew that he had failed, defeated by his own son. And it's very easy, the kind that he has nothing to do. Dad, Now you know how powerful the transformation of God is. Moreover, after you have mastered the most basic God transformation, you can continue to transform into Super Saiyan based on the basics to achieve a stronger God transformation. This time, Vegeta was silent when he heard his son's words. After personally experiencing the power of Trunks, he could no longer say that the transformation of God was nothing more than this. Okay, now that Vegeta knows, let's continue training. It is not an easy task to master the transformation of God, Subai said. Although Vegeta didn't say anything, his silence already meant that he was conquered. Next, he will obediently accept his son's teachings and undergo training in divine transformation. Garp. Sure enough, the best way to conquer a person is to crush him directly with strength. This is more effective than anything else. Garp. Whenever I gain strength, I will use the same method to conquer those pirates and celestial dragons. Guojing. If I were so powerful, it would be very easy to overthrow the Xiao and Song royal families. There would be no need to fight with them. Diya. It's the same for me. Once I have strong strength, I can crush Kelet directly. There is no need to talk nonsense to him. Lu Paiqiang. I don't know when I will be so powerful. Lu Paiqiang. Even if I don't have the strength of Trunks, when I can reach the strength of Vegeta, I will have enough strength to completely solve the crisis of the Earth. You must know that the group leader said that Vegeta's strength is 8 stars. If he could have the strength of 8 stars, it would be a piece of cake to solve the crisis on Earth. Unfortunately, his current strength is only 2 stars. That's right, Lu Paiqiang's current strength has reached 2 stars. With the help of the God-level breathing method and the food that Subai fed before, Lu Paiqiang's strength has been greatly improved, from 1 star to 2 stars. The other group members also improved more or less after eating the food. The little boss was also directly promoted from 0 star to 1 star, and it was still within 1 star. Subai. Okay, keep working hard, Subai said and turned off the live broadcast. When I saw Vegeta perform the final flash just now, his incredible understanding had no effect. But Subai is not surprised either, because there's really nothing to upgrade about the final flash move. Despite its handsome name, it is also very powerful. But the essence of this move is actually to release one's power in one breath. Just like Kamehameha, this isn't even a move, so there's no need to strengthen it. Chapter 43. Diya was discovered. Diya's huge crisis. Star Travel World. Uranus. After Subai turned off the live broadcast, Diya continued to dig for Uranus's special liquid. After eating the food Subai gave her, Diya's strength also improved from 1 star to 2 stars. But she also knows very well that it is impossible to compete with Carrot with a 2-star level of strength. You must know that there are not a few planets that were destroyed in the hands of Kara. Even if Carrot is not at the level of 7-star explosion star, it is at least a 6-star level of strength. So she wanted to get enough points as soon as possible by the God-level breathing method and become stronger. Diya did not tell anyone about the chat group and the God-level breathing method because she doesn't trust anyone else. Therefore, she was digging for Uranus's special liquid alone, and the progress was a little slow. So far, the points exchanged for the special liquid she dug up are only a few thousand points. It's not because the special liquid is not expensive and can only be redeemed for so many points. But the liquid she dug out was too little. It is not an easy task to dig to the point where special liquid can appear. And in order not to let Kara know, she didn't even dare to use machines like excavators. At most, she could only dig with a shovel, which was too inefficient. However, Diya is not discouraged. As long as she is given a little more time, she will be able to dig out enough special liquids and exchange them for points to purchase God-level breathing techniques. But sometimes it backfires after all. I said you were digging so hard. What are you digging for? Did you hide the golden Rubik's Cube here? A voice sounded from behind Diya, which startled Diya. When Diya turned around and looked behind her, she was so frightened that she was sweating profusely. Because the person who appeared behind her was none other than Kara, she never expected that, even though she was so cautious, she would still be discovered by Kara. Killa looked at the startled Diya and felt very satisfied. A weak person should react like this. Diya ran out without saying a word. With her current strength, it was impossible for her to be Kara's opponent. Kara didn't care at all about Diya's escape and just followed Diya with his men. Just like a cat catching a mouse, it doesn't catch the mouse at once, but plays with the mouse and lets the mouse escape. No matter how hard it escapes, it can't escape the grasp of the cat. While running away, Diya searched the mall for items that could solve the crisis. But with the current situation, even if she immediately buys the God-level breathing method, it will be useless. Although the God-level breathing method is very powerful, no matter how powerful it is impossible for her to gain strength comparable to Piccolo in such a short period of time. Originally, Diya's idea was to accumulate food and slowly become king. But Clara discovered her in advance, causing her idea to fail. Fortunately, she is the only one who knows the whereabouts of the golden Rubik's Cube. Even if she died, it would be impossible for her to hand over the golden Rubik's Cube to Kara. Moreover, she also has a way to kill Krat together. Thinking like this, Diya didn't run away. She knew very well that since she was discovered by Kara, it would be impossible to escape from Kara. Why don't you run away? Do you know you can't run away? Seeing that Diya stopped running, Kara said with a sneer, "You can continue to choose to escape, I don't mind." He had a great time playing this game of cat and mouse. So even if Diya continues to run away, he doesn't mind at all. Anyway, it was impossible to escape from him. No matter how I escape, I can't escape from you, right? In that case, I won't run away. Actually, as long as you hand over the golden Rubik's Cube and Alala, I can let you go. Do you think I will believe what you say? Diya would not believe a word of what Kara said. Want to know who Kara is? That's a person with galaxy eyes. Cold-blooded and brutal, murderous. Uranus is Urala once it is revealed to Clara. Then she believes that there will never be a living creature on Uranus. Carrot will definitely kill every living creature on Uranus. Not even an ant will be spared. Ha ha ha. These are the rules of the universe. The dominance of the strong over the weak is a rule that can never be broken in the universe. You're not a strong person, and you Galaxy Eyes are not a powerful organization either. If it were before, Kara and Galaxy, I were indeed very powerful in Diya's eyes. You must know that even the Interstellar Alliance has nothing to do with the Galaxy Eye. But now, she met the group leader, Brother Su Bai, the real god. You must know that Brother Su Bai is the supreme powerhouse of 11 stars. Even if all the strong men from Galaxy Eye and Star Alliance combined, they would not be able to match Su Bai's brother. The strongest among these two organizations will never exceed 8 stars. Brother Su Bai can easily wipe them out by himself, in front of Brother Su Bai, who dares to call himself a strong one. This carrot is not worthy. Oh, is your last sentence in life this joke? If that's the case, then I admit that you did make me laugh. In Carrot's view, what Diya just said was simply a joke. Carrot is indeed not a strong person, and his status in Galaxy I is not high. But to say that Galaxy I is not a powerful organization is simply ridiculous. You know, their Galaxy I is an organization that even the Interstellar Alliance can't do anything about. Especially the 5 adults with 5 colored eyes are extremely powerful. If they're not considered strong, if even Galaxy I is not considered powerful, then what else in the universe can be considered powerful? Therefore, Kara only thought that this was a joke told by Diya before she died. Okay, I advise you to hand over the golden Rubik's Cube. This will at least make your death easier. Killa was too lazy to talk nonsense to Diya anymore. It took him so long to find Diya. Although he didn't think there would be any surprises, he still wanted to get the golden Rubik's Cube from Diya as soon as possible. Avoid long nights and many dreams. As long as he gets the golden Rubik's Cube and Alala, he can leave this planet. And if he completes the task assigned to him by Lord Blue Eyes, he will definitely receive a generous reward. He has been looking for Alala for several years. Finally he can complete this task. Hearing Kara's words, Diya didn't say anything, but her expression became determined. Space contract solidification. Diya made a gesture, and the next moment, a blue rectangle appeared around her and Kara, surrounding them. Chapter 44. Diya finally died together. Farewell, everyone. This is one of Diya's rainbow stone abilities. Her rainbow stone ability is a spatial contract, which can exchange the positions of two people or things. If this transmission process is interrupted, the space between the two parties will be sealed, and as time goes by, it will be swallowed up by the space cracks. Therefore, this move can only be used once, and it is a move that kills the enemy together. This is what Diya had thought about before. Anyway, she couldn't run away from Kara, and there was nothing in the mall that could help. In this case, even if she dies, she will die with the murderer who killed her parents. Do you think this would be useful to me? Killa didn't care about Diya's abilities at all. In his opinion, these were all childish things. How could they trap him? Now the space the two of us are in has been sealed, and will soon be swallowed up by the space cracks. You can't run away. After hearing Diya's words, Kara's expression finally changed. He touched the rectangular parallelepiped wrapped around him and found that it could not be broken from the inside. In other words, what Diya said is true. He didn't expect that this little girl actually had such a trick. But you'll die too. I am willing to die with you, a devil. I don't want the golden Rubik's Cube or Urala anymore. You can solve this trick now, and I'll leave now. Carrot finally backed down. How could his majestic manager with galaxy eyes die on this tiny Uranus and die with such a little girl? Do you think I will believe you? Just wait for death. This time, it was Diya who said with a sneer, once the spatial contract and solidification technique is used, it cannot be broken internally, unless broken from the outside. But now on Uranus, except for Carrot, who has the power to break it from the outside, no one else has this power. Therefore, Kara's death is certain. Although she is the same, it is worth exchanging her life for Carrot's. It's a pity that she can't chat with other people in the group in the future. I can no longer appreciate the heroic appearance of the group leader, Brother Subai. With this in mind, Diya opened the chat group and prepared to chat with other people for the last time. Diya, everyone, you must become stronger in the future and realize your dreams. Garp. Diya, what do you mean? Why does it feel so wrong? Butterfly Ninja. Yes, Diya, what happened to you? How could you say such a thing? Oga Tatsumi. Why do I feel that Diya's words are so like his last words? Guijing. Yes, I think so too. Diya's words made everyone in the group feel that something was wrong. These words really sound like last words. This made them worried about Diya. What happened to Diya? How could you say such a thing? Subai. Diya, you must have been discovered by Kara, right? Subai guessed Diya's situation. Diya has been evading Kara's pursuit. Since she suddenly said something like this, the most likely thing is that she was discovered by Kara. With her strength, there is no way she could be a match for Kara, nor can she escape from Kara's hands. Moreover, in the original work, Madong defeated Carrot and rescued Diya. But at this point in time, Diya hasn't even met McDonald yet. In this case, Diya was discovered by Killa, which was almost a certain death situation, because no matter whether Diya will hand over the golden Rubik's Cube or not, it is impossible for Kara to let her go. Diya, Brother Subai is right. I've been discovered by Kara. Diya, I'm using the same death move on him now. I don't have much time. Garp, damn it. Is there any other way to save Diya? Butterfly Ninja. How about we lend the points to Diya and let her purchase the God-level breathing method? Guijing, good idea. Xiao Longnu. Diya, we will give you the points now. You should hurry up and buy the God-level breathing method. In the past, group members did not borrow points from each other because they had their own ways of obtaining points. And their situation is actually not that urgent. Not so urgent that they need others to lend them points. But now, Diya encountered an emergency situation. In this case, even their own points are not enough, but they will not hesitate to lend their points to let Diya tide over the difficulties. Subai, no, it is useless even if we let Diya obtain the God-level breathing method now. In such a short time, there is no way to improve her strength to the point where she can compete with Carrot. Subai, Diya, you should have said it earlier. I will give you a red envelope, and you can deal with Carrot. Diya, seeing Subai's words, Diya reacted immediately. Yes, although she has no way to deal with Carrot, Brother Subai does. How did Brother Subai eliminate Toma before? Isn't it just a red envelope sent to the other party? The red envelope contains a hint of energy from the universe. She can definitely use the same method to deal with Kara. With Su Bai's brother's strength, just putting a little energy into the red envelope is enough to kill Carrot countless times. She actually forgot about this hand, but there was nothing she could do. The previous situation was so urgent. How could she think of this solution immediately? It's too late now. After the spatial contract and solidification is activated, it can only be broken from the outside. Even if she received the red envelope from Brother Su Bai, she couldn't break it from the outside. She could only break it from the inside. Diya believes that with Su Bai's strength, he can definitely break the space contract and solidification from within. But the problem is, once broken from the inside, it will only accelerate her death. Diya, it's too late now, but I can die with the devil who killed my parents, and I'm satisfied. I at least avenge my parents. Diya, anyway, everyone, you must realize your dreams. Diya, everyone farewell. Diya took one last look at the chat group with great reluctance, and then exited the chat group. She could already feel that the cracks in space were slowly beginning to swallow up the space she was in. Soon, she and Kara will be swallowed up by the rift in space. And in the chat group at this time, Lu Paiqiang, damn, is there nothing we can do? He understood Diya's despair very well, because all human beings on the earth had experienced such despair. This helplessness, helpless despair. Chapter 45 Urgent Mission. Su Bai is coming. Garp. The chat group has not yet enabled the function of traveling to the worlds of other group members. Otherwise, we could go to Diya's world to help. Butterfly Ninja. No. Even if this function is turned on, with our strength, we can't help at all. Butterfly Ninja. According to what Diya said before, the enemies she faces are at least 6-star or even 7-star experts. Gui Jing. Yes, no one can help her deal with her enemies except the group leader, Xiao Longnu. But if Brother Su Bai can go to Sister Diya's world, then he can help her deal with her enemies. Su Bai, it is indeed possible, but the problem is that the chat group has not yet enabled such a function. Su Bai shook his head helplessly. If only Diya could tell her about being discovered by Kara earlier. Then he just needs to put a little bit of his strength in the red envelope and send it to Diya. Diya can rely on his energy to directly kill Kara instantly. But Diya didn't think of this. After she performed the move of dying together, she thought of saying goodbye to the other people in the chat group. But it was too late. Even if he sent his energy to Diya now, it would be useless. On the contrary, it will make Diya die faster. Is it possible that Diya, the childhood goddess in her childhood, is really going to die like this? It was at this time. Ding. It has been detected that a group member is in danger. Issuing an emergency mission. Save Diya. The travel function is turned on, and group members can travel to the worlds of other group members. Task reward, 100,000 points. Note, this mission is relatively difficult. Only members of at least 6-star level can accept the mission. The chat group has released an urgent task. Garp, great. In this case, then No. Can the group leader help Diya? Just when Garp opened his mouth, Su Bai had already accepted the task. The next moment, a black passage appeared in front of him. Su Bai walked in and disappeared. Star Travel World. Because Diya stopped watching the chat group, she didn't know what happened in the chat group. She looked at Kara opposite her, with a determined expression on her face. She could already feel the space cracks gradually swallowing up the space she was in. Soon, she would be devoured. But so does Carrot. So at this time, Kara is constantly attacking the surrounding space. However, the space inside is not so easy to break. And being sealed in space, Clara couldn't even use her own abilities. Damn it. Damn it. How could I die in a place like this? Kalana was unwilling to give up. He never imagined that he had destroyed so many planets and completed so many tasks. In the end, it fell into the hands of a little girl. If he had known this, he would have just dealt with the other party first. Kara regretted it extremely. If she had known that he would not have played the cat and mouse game just now. But who would have thought that mice and cats could die together? But just at this time, a black passage suddenly appeared between Diya and Kellet, attracting their attention. The next moment, a figure walked out of it. Clara looked at this figure with a confused expression because he had never seen it before. And Diya, after seeing this figure, the determined expression on his face suddenly became very shocked. Because this figure is none other than Su Bai. Diya had seen Su Bai in a previous live broadcast, so she recognized him the first time she saw him. But she couldn't figure out why her brother Su Bai appeared here. Could it be that brother Su Bai has the ability to travel to the worlds of other group members? Xiao Diya, why are you looking at me in such surprise? You don't recognize me? Su Bai looked at Diya, said with a smile, and touched the cuboid that enveloped Diya. The next moment, the cuboid shattered instantly. Diya's space was broken, and so was Carrot's space. Although she didn't know what happened, Kara was relieved to see that she was saved. Then he looked at Diya and Su Bai. He didn't know who Su Bai was, but it was for the sake of saving him. Then he should let the other party die happily. There is no way he will let the other party know Diya. He will not let Diya go. Since the other party knows Diya, he will naturally not let him go either. At most, give the other party a happy time when the time comes. Think of it as repaying the other party for saving his life. Brother Su Bai, why are you here? At this time, Diya was still immersed in shock. She still hasn't figured out why her brother Su Bai appears here. You left the chat group too early and didn't see the aftermath. After, Diya opened the chat group, saw the promotion tasks released by the chat group, and understood everything. So, brother Su Bai, you are here to save me. Yes, but you little girl can't be impulsive anymore. If you encounter any danger, just ask the people in the group if there is any solution. Su Bai touched Diya's head and said with a smile, if the chat group hadn't released an emergency mission this time, Diya would really have died. Hey. Diya stuck out her tongue and smiled sheepishly. She knew that she was indeed too impulsive this time. As soon as he saw Carrot, he thought of dying with him. I didn't even ask other people in the group if there was anything they could do, although she doesn't care about dying with Clara. But that's when there's no other way. If there is a way, then she naturally doesn't want to die. She also wanted to continue chatting with other people, and she also wanted to see more of Su Bai's heroic appearance. I tell you too, it's time for you to finish reminiscing about the past. At this time, Clara spoke. For the sake of Su Bai saving him, he gave the two of them some time to reminisce. But only a little. Su Bai turned aside Carrot and ignored the other party. Diya, do you want to avenge your parents? Think. Diya nodded. She dreamed of avenging her parents. Then do you want to kill Kara instantly or beat him up to vent your anger and then finish him off? I want to beat him up first to vent my anger. Diya chose the former without hesitation. Carrot brought her great pain, and with Su Bai's brother here, he could easily kill the opponent instantly. But this would be too cheap a Carrot. The sins Carrot committed cannot be repaid so easily. It would be a kindness to him to let him die a happy death. And Carrot doesn't deserve this kind of kindness at all. I see. Su Bai nodded, and the next moment, a layer of purple energy covered Diya. This layer of purple energy is so thin that most people cannot see it with the naked eye. Chapter 46. Enchant Diya. Diya, take revenge with your own hands. Diya, it's up to you to avenge your parents with your own hands. After enchanting Diya, Su Bai said to her with a smile, but I'm no match for Kara. Diya was a little confused when she heard that Su Bai's brother actually asked her to deal with Kara. With her strength, it is impossible for her to be Kara's opponent. Why did brother Su Bai let her take action? She thought it was brother Su Bai who wanted to help her take revenge, because the energy that Su Bai enchanted Diya was invisible to the naked eye. Diya didn't notice it at all. Believe me, you now have the strength to avenge your parents. Su Bai didn't explain much. This could be regarded as a surprise for Diya. Good. Diya nodded and did not continue to say anything. Since brother Su Bai asked her to do it, he must have a reason. Anyway, with brother Su Bai here, it is impossible for Carrot to kill her. Although I don't know what brother Su Bai means when he says that she now has the strength to avenge her parents. But since brother Su Bai asked her to do it herself, let's do it. Diya came to Keela because Su Bai was behind her. There was no fear in her eyes when she looked at Keela. Kara also discovered this. This made him a little strange. It was clear that when Diya saw him before, he was filled with fear and despair. But now, How come the fear and despair have disappeared? Knowing the despair of others is the happiest thing for him. How could Diya's despair disappear? Killa looked at Subai. Only after this man appeared did Diya lose her despair and fear. Could it be that this man is some kind of powerful being? But this is impossible. This man is obviously not a person with galaxy eyes. As for the strong men in the Interstellar Alliance, he also knew that there was no such person. Could it be a wild strong man? But how did Diya know such a strong man? Don't understand. Anyway, no matter what, this man is on Diya's side, which means he is against galaxy eyes. I'm talking about you, although I don't know who you are. But are you sure you want to help her? If you help her, you are making an enemy of Galaxy Eyes. As long as you go against Galaxy Eye, your final fate will be death. Not only that, every time you take a step forward, you will bring disaster to countless people. Galaxy Eyes will not let go of those who oppose them. Even those who have helped these people, Galaxy Eyes will not let go. Therefore, Killa wanted to use the Galaxy Eye to threaten Subai and ask him to leave Diya's affairs alone. If Subai can ignore Diya's affairs, then he can let him go. However, Subai still ignored Carrot. Galaxy Eyes? Does this kind of organization that can be destroyed with a wave of his hand pose any threat to him? Kara, you don't need to say any more. There's no way Brother Subai will listen to you. Diya snapped at KLA. Who is Brother Subai? How could he be threatened by Carrot? Galaxy Eye is an extremely powerful organization in her world, and not even the Interstellar Alliance can do anything about it. But in front of Brother Subai, what does it matter? Not to mention Brother Subai, even the father and son under Brother Subai can easily destroy the entire galaxy countless times. In that case, I'll deal with you first, and then I'll deal with your Brother Subai. Seeing that Subai ignored him, Kara was too lazy to talk nonsense. He was worried that what happened before would happen again, so he wanted to deal with Diya quickly. Because Kara could not see Subai's enchantment on Diya, so in his opinion, Diya could not be his opponent at all. It was probably her brother Subai who gave her the courage to fight against herself. If that's the case, then he will let her see what the truly terrifying strength is. Steel making. Keela used his ability to make steel, turning his nails into a steel fork, and quickly rushed towards Diya, trying to kill Diya instantly. Carrot's speed was very fast, and Diya was already prepared to not be able to see the opponent's movements clearly. But the next moment, she froze, because she suddenly discovered why was Kara's movements so slow in front of her. Did Carrot slow down on purpose? Probably not. Then the only explanation is that Carrot's speed is still that speed. But in his own eyes, Carrot's speed was slowed down. It's Brother Subai. Diya knew very well that Subai's brother must have done something to increase her reaction speed by an unknown number of times. So Kara's speed slowed down in front of her. No wonder Brother Subai asked her to deal with Kara by herself. It turns out that Brother Subai had already prepared it. This time, Diya's confidence greatly increased. With the help of Subai's brother, Carrot, who was originally so terrifying to her, was nothing. At this time, Kara had already arrived in front of Diya, and his nails turned into steel forks and stabbed Diya fiercely. If this move hits Diya, Diya's body will definitely be penetrated. Kara seemed to have seen the scene where Diya was penetrated by him. Such a scene is so pleasant. But in the next moment, Kara was stunned, because the scene of piercing Diya's body that he expected did not happen. But Diya reached out and grabbed his steel fork. But how is this possible? How could Diya have such strength? Before Kara could figure it out, Diya punched out and knocked Kara away. Keela spit out a mouthful of blood and felt the burning pain in the place where Diya had just hit him. At this time, Diya looked at his fist and was also very surprised, although she didn't know what Subai did to her. But it's obvious that her current strength has indeed improved significantly. Although her Rainbow Stone ability is auxiliary, her own combat ability is not strong. But with Subai's brother strengthening her, even if she just punches and kicks, she can easily crush Kara. Thank you, Brother Subai. Diya looked at Subai and said very gratefully. Subai, on the other hand, just smiled. His enchantment on Diya is not strong. It can even be said to be very weak. But it's more than enough to deal with a Chrono Jedi. This was also intentional on his part. If his enchantment had been stronger, Diya would have been able to kill Kara instantly with one punch. Then wouldn't Diya be able to vent her anger? The current enchantment is just right. It can prevent Carrot from harming Diya, but Diya can crush Carrot without killing Carrot instantly. When will Diya's anger be almost gone? Then when will Carrot die? Then again, when I saw Kara using the steel-making technique just now, his incredible understanding came into play again. Chapter 47, The God-Creating Machine, is ever-changing. Diya beats up Carrot. You watched Carrot use the steel-making technique and saw through the essence of the steel-making technique. After seeing through the essence of steel-making, you gained a lot of insights. Combining these insights with steel-making, you created a variety of magical machines. Magical variety. You can freely transform your body and energy, turn your body and energy into various weapons, and even become anything you want. After seeing Carrot's steel-making skills, Su Bai's incredible understanding came into play again, strengthening Carrot's steel-making skills and creating a variety of magical machines. With this move, you can turn your body and energy into various weapons. It can even turn into anything. It's kind of like 72 changes. The body and energy become weapons, a situation that also occurs in Dragon Ball. During the Tournament of Power, a contestant from the third universe can turn his body into a weapon. As for turning energy into a weapon, a player from the 11th Universe Pride team can also do it. And Black Goku and Zamasu also have this ability, but they turn their energy into air swords and air sickles. Vegito also has this kind of energy and can also turn his own energy into an air sword. But that's it. They didn't show any other weapons. I don't know if I won't or if I don't want to. But now Su Bai can freely transform his body and energy and can turn into any weapon. It's not even just a weapon. It can transform into anything. Let's not talk about whether it will help improve your own strength. At least this move is still very interesting. At this time, Keela, who had been beaten by Diya, stood up, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and looked at Diya in front of him in disbelief. How could this girl be so powerful with just one punch? How could this girl suddenly become so powerful? He looked around, but he didn't see any changes in the other party from before. At this time, Diya ran towards Kara quickly. Seeing this scene, Kara quickly used her ability to steel her body, turning her body into extremely hard steel. He was injured by Diya before. It must be because he underestimated the enemy too much. Now that he has turned his body into extremely hard steel, he doesn't believe that Diya can still hurt him. Not only that, Kara also used steel-making to create a trident. Seeing Diya coming in front of him, Kellet stabbed out the trident in his hand, and his whole body was ready for defense. However, none of his preparations were of any use. Diya once again grabbed Kara's trident with his bare hand and punched Kara with his other hand. Although she is not good at fighting, she had seen Su Bai's fight before and how Vegeta attacked Trunks. So she knew that as long as the simplest punches and kicks were enough, there was no need for any fancy fighting. The simpler, but also the most direct. Diya punched Carrot again, and she could feel that Carrot's body was much harder than before. But is it useful? Useless. Carrot was still punched away. However, when Kara was knocked away, several black feathers floated out from his body. These feathers floated around Diya and surrounded Diya. Ha ha! Suffer death. Kara laughed and spit out a few steel balls from his mouth. These steel balls hit the black feathers surrounding Diya. The next moment, these feathers exploded violently. The explosion immediately swallowed up Diya, with flames rising into the sky and smoke filling the air. Clara looked at this scene with a sneer. Those black feathers were the feathers of his pet gunpowder crow. It will explode if hit hard. With such a violent explosion, he didn't believe that Diya would be unscathed. Even if he was killed directly, it would not be a strange thing. However, he didn't wait too long to be happy. When the explosion disappeared and the smoke dispersed, Diya's figure appeared again. Devoured by the violent explosion, Diya was not to mention killed. Even unscathed. What? How is this possible? Keela was shocked. How could even the explosion of gunpowder crow's feathers not harm Diya? How could the other party be so powerful? Brother Su Bai has strengthened me, so how can it be that your attack can hurt me? Diya looked at Carrot and said with confidence. The source of her confidence is naturally the reinforcement given to her by Su Bai. When the feathers floating around her exploded, Diya was indeed a little panicked. But when he thought that he had been strengthened by Su Bai, he no longer panicked. Sure enough, she didn't even resist, and just let the explosion swallow her up. However, this explosion that could have killed her could not do anything to her. It was as if there was a protective shield around her, which directly blocked the explosion, and even her clothes were not damaged. Su Bai, he gave you reinforcements? Hearing Diya's words, Kila looked at Su Bai not far away. Has this Su Bai been strengthened by Diya? But what didn't he see? When was this Su Bai strengthened? And since it was strengthening, why didn't Diya change at all? The key is that just by strengthening Diya, she can actually block his attack without being hurt. How strong is this Su Bai? Kutta, it was you who took the initiative to attack before. Next, I will avenge those people you killed and my parents. Diya said, rushing towards Kara again, even faster than before. In the blink of an eye, she was in front of Kara, and her fist containing anger and determination landed on Kara. Diya's fist is not big. It could be said to be a small pink fist. But just like this small fist that looks pink and tender, it carries powerful power. Every time it fell on Kara, Kara felt like she had been hit hard. His strengthened steel body seemed to have not been strengthened. It's of no use at all. He knew very well that Diya didn't know how to fight at all, only the most basic punching and kicking. But because her abilities in all aspects have improved so much, Diya is now completely defeated by 10 skills with 1 strength. Even the simplest punches and kicks can suppress him. Kara found an opportunity and quickly stayed away from Diya. He was worried that if he continued like this, he would be beaten to death by Diya. It would be really frustrating if you were beaten to death without using your full strength. Originally, Kara thought that solving Diya would be a piece of cake, but I didn't expect that this little girl would be strengthened and her strength would be greatly increased. In this case, he had to fight with all his strength. Chapter 48 Diya. Brother Su Bai is my star and hope. A huge black crow flew behind Kila and landed on Kila. Then, the black crow turned into something similar to armor and covered Kara's body. 2 wings grew out of Kara's back. When he flapped his wings, the black feathers on them floated around Kara. This is Carrot's strongest form. This is where the defense and attack power are enhanced to their peak. Armed for war. Kara looked at Diya. After transforming into his strongest form, his confidence returned. This is his strongest form, and because it's so strong, it can cause a lot of damage if you're not careful. He was worried that it might hurt Alala before, so he didn't use it. But now, I can't even use it if I don't want to. But after he took out his war weapons, his strength has reached its peak. He didn't believe that Diya would still be his opponent. Even if Su Bai strengthened her, this kind of strengthening must have a limit, and it is impossible for Diya to become too strong. After he killed Diya, he immediately left Uranus. As for facing that Su Bai, he's not stupid. This Su Bai strengthened Diya, and the strengthening without any changes made Diya so powerful. This Su Bai strength may be on the same level as the 5 adults of 5 color eyes. A strong man of this level is simply beyond what he can deal with. Moreover, if such a strong man intervenes, even if his mission fails, Lord Blue Eyes will probably not blame him. Anyway, let's deal with Diya first. After using the war weapon, Kara gained the ability to fly. He flew high into the sky, the wings behind him constantly flapping, and pieces of black feathers floated in the air, forming an inverted cone shape from top to bottom. Gunpowder cloud. This move can blow up half the planet. Diya, just be blown to pieces together with Alala and the golden Rubik's Cube you are guarding. Kila never thought of using this trick to deal with Su Bai. He knew it would be useless against Su Bai. However, he didn't believe that even Diya couldn't be killed by the explosion. This is his most powerful move. Its destructive power is almost equivalent to that of an entire fleet. I won't let you succeed. Diya looked at the forming cloud of gunpowder with a very determined expression. She believed in Brother Su Bai, and believed that Brother Su Bai's strengthening of her would enable her to withstand the attack of Carrot. Diya, now is the time for you to avenge those who died. At this time, Su Bai's voice sounded. Diya looked at Su Bai behind him and found that Su Bai was looking at him with a smile on his face. Su Bai's smile, like light, shines into Diya's heart. She remembered what her grandfather once said to her. The reason why the starry sky is beautiful is that in the infinite universe, no matter how dark it spreads, there will always be stars to illuminate it. Grandpa, I finally understand what you said. Where there is despair, there is hope. Brother Su Bai, he is my star and hope. Before joining the chat group, Diya's life was very desperate. She saw her parents being killed by Krala and lost her smile ever since. Moreover, in addition to her, other members of the Star Society were also killed. She was the only one living alone. She wanted to take revenge, but there was nothing she could do. It wasn't until she joined the chat group and was comforted and chatted by other group members that she became less desperate. But her heart was still shrouded in despair and darkness. Until the group leader Su Bai appeared. He was like a gleam of light, shining into Diya's heart, giving her a hint of light in her heart that was originally filled with darkness. And the emergence of the God-level breathing method gave her hope of defeating Carrot. But the sudden appearance of Kara shattered this hope and made her despair again. She even chose to die together with Kara. But just when she was most critical, Su Bai appeared again. He gave her the power to take revenge and gave her hope again. And now, Su Bai's smile was like stars in the night sky, completely igniting and illuminating her dark heart. Let her heart, originally filled with darkness and despair, be shrouded in light and hope. Find a star like yourself and light the way to freedom. This is what Diya's grandfather said to her. The members of the previous chat group were the stars she found who were just like her. But they don't have the strength to light her way to freedom. But the appearance of Su Bai was like the biggest and dazzling star. The road to freedom for Diya was completely illuminated. The first step to freedom is to defeat Kara and avenge the members of the Star Society who died at the hands of Kara. Father, mother, grandpa, and everyone from the Star Society. Next, it's time for me to avenge you. Diya looked at the carrots and gunpowder clouds in the sky. She couldn't let the powder cloud fall, otherwise Uranus would suffer huge damage. Therefore, she had to jump into the high altitude and use her body to resist the gunpowder cloud. She believes in Brother Su Bai. Brother Su Bai's strengthening of her will definitely prevent her from getting hurt. Diya, there's no need to go to such trouble. Just when Diya was about to jump up, Su Bai spoke again. Just open your right hand and aim at the gunpowder cloud and carrot in the sky. Diya nodded to Su Bai, followed Su Bai's instructions, opened his right hand, and aimed at the gunpowder cloud and carrot in the air. The next moment, Diya clearly felt that something around his body began to flow to his right hand and condensed in front of his right hand. Is this how Brother Su Bai strengthens me? Although Diya still can't see Su Bai's energy, she can feel it. She was able to beat up Kara just now because Brother Su Bai covered her body with his energy. And now, she will use Brother Su Bai's energy to completely eliminate gunpowder cloud and carrot. Destroy it. Destroy it together with Alala and the golden Rubik's Cube that you have been protecting. At this time, Clark did not realize the seriousness of the problem. His gunpowder cloud has taken shape. As long as it falls to the ground, Diya will definitely die. It would be better if Diya rushed into the gunpowder cloud to protect the planet. This behavior is no different from seeking death, and he doesn't have to destroy the planet. He can still look for the golden cube and Ural on the planet. Thinking of this, Kara hoped that Diya could rush forward and hit the gunpowder cloud himself. Kila looked at Diya below and found that she had no intention of jumping up. Moreover, she opened her right hand and pointed it at him and the gunpowder cloud. Diya, what do you want to do? Chapter 49, Energy Fireworks. Diya, you're no longer alone. When I feel Su Bai's energy condensed in my palms. Diya knew that as long as this ball of energy was released, whether it was the gunpowder cloud or the carrot, it would be completely destroyed. This is the energy from the god, Brother Su Bai. Even if it is just a trace, it is definitely not something that Carrot can resist. Before taking action, the faces of his parents, his grandfather, and other members of the Star Society flashed through Diya's mind. They were all killed by Kra. No one from the Star Society survived except her. And now, it's time for her to avenge them. Mom, Dad, Grandpa, everyone, I avenged you, Diya said firmly, and the next moment, the energy in her hand flew out of her hand as if she was conscious. Subai's energy is invisible to the naked eye, so Keela doesn't know what Diya means by opening her right hand. But the next moment he saw the gunpowder cloud that was still flying in the air and, not falling, began to explode. Subai's energy hit the gunpowder cloud and was hit hard, and the gunpowder cloud began to explode. Because the explosion occurred at high altitude, it did not affect the ground. When Kara saw his gunpowder cloud suddenly explode for no reason, he knew something was wrong. This must be because Diya opened his right hand. Although he didn't know what happened, since the gunpowder cloud exploded, it meant that he had been hit hard. Therefore, Diya must have carried out.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.